Well, after such a great start for the Ottawa Renegades, they've fallen on hard times. Came shooting out of the gate 3-0, but now they've lost 3 straight. They're trying to get back on track at home tonight against the Calgary Stampeders. As we welcome you inside our CFL Live studio. Hi, everybody. Dave Randolph with you. Jock Climby right beside me, and right beside him, you got your Chris Schultz, and it is doubleheader night tonight on Wendy's CFL Live. We're going to start in Ottawa, then we got a great game for you out west, Montreal at BC. Also, in the halftime of our first game, we're going to have an in-studio guest. Toronto Argonauts linebacker Michael O'Shea is going to join us and talk about things that are related to the Argos and around the league. But we're going to start with our first matchup, and it is Tommy Jones making his first career start at quarterback for the Stamps. But Darnell Kennedy's way ahead of him, Schultz, way ahead of him, because he made his first start last week.
And that means a lot. I mean, we do have 2 young quarterbacks in tonight's football game. Tommy Jones, first time being a pro, leading a team. Darnell Kennedy, this will be his second opportunity. So really the priority for both of these quarterbacks is not so much to make the big play, it's to avoid the big mistakes. Example, Darnell Kennedy had 1 big mistake against the Argonauts last week, and it cost him. Michael Fletcher returned it for 7, and the Argos only won by 3. Each quarterback has to stay confident. They have to manage the moments properly and professionally. If they do, they'll have some success. But of the 2 quarterbacks, I think Darnell Kennedy has the advantage, because all he's got to do is look behind him. He sees Josh Ronick. That gives you some confidence. You can't say that about the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, and you know Coach Dunnigan, you know what he's been there.
Yes, he has.
So you know the first thing he does to old Tommy Jones is breathe in.
You breathe in, breathe out. Relax.
Just relax. The next thing you do, exactly what you said, Schultz, you stay away from the big mistakes. And you know what? Don't be afraid to be sacked. Sacks aren't going to hurt you. Throwing interceptions will. And poor Tommy Jones is not in the same position as Darnell Kennedy in the fact that he's going to have to throw the ball all game long if he wants to be successful. John Jenkins is the offensive coordinator. He does not believe in running the football. And for that reason, Matt Dunnigan has taken Victor Ike out of the backfield and used that American roster spot in this defensive secondary. And he's got 2 fullbacks playing back there, David. What's that tell you? Tommy Jones is going to have to win it in the air if they hope to be successful.
With no offense to Reginbald or Diebert.
No, they're just not. They're not running backs. They're
fullbacks. Victor Ike is a running back. Speaking of running backs, let's tell you about the starting quarterbacks, which has nothing to do with running backs. They're brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Tommy Jones wears his boss's old number 16. There's Darnell Kennedy getting the nod for Ottawa. Now we're going to kick things off by giving you the Rona poll question. Log on to tsn.ca and you tell us, Tommy Jones gets the start for Calgary tonight. Who do you think should be the starter for the Stamps? Crandall, Jones, or the third stringer, Michael Souza?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ottawa. I'm Gord Miller with my old pal Leaf Pedersen. Both Calgary and Ottawa need to end the slide.
Yeah, they really do. 2 quarterbacks that didn't start the season for them get the chance tonight.
Yeah, Ottawa's lost 3 straight, but Calgary has dropped 4 in a row, and the season is slipping away. On a beautiful summer day in the nation's capital, we are in the city that will play host to the 2004 Grey Cup as we get set for the first half of our doubleheader tonight. The Ottawa Renegades and the Calgary Stampeders. The Stampeders have won the toss and have elected to receive, so we'll get an early look at Tommy Jones, a quarterback for Calgary. A beautiful day, as I mentioned, 28 degrees Celsius, not much wind, and the artificial field turf here in Ottawa is dry. Matt Dunnigan's Stampeders opened the season with an impressive win over Saskatchewan, but they've dropped 4 straight since then. A long time since Dunnigan experienced a 5-game losing streak. You'd have to go back to 1989 when he was a player for the BC Lions. And Joe Paopao, a former BC Lion himself, running the show for Ottawa, trying to end a 3-game losing streak.
Well, you know, Gord, I think for Joe Paopao, when they were 3-0, I said the biggest challenge for this team is when they face adversity, how will they handle it? Well, they're facing adversity tonight because this team clearly, for the city and for the players' confidence, does not want to lose 4 games in a row. We'll see how they respond.
Wayne McGarity takes the kickoff from Sandro Shortino, and we are underway in Ottawa. From the 15, this is McGarity with a seam and moving across the 40. McGarity still loose, crosses midfield, and finally the kicker forces him out of bounds. Great field position down to the Ottawa 46-yard line. And Tommy Jones, 25 years old next week, will go to work for the Calgary Stampeders. And tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Tums. Tums tackles heartburn fast.
And Tommy Jones says that Albert Connell can get open on every pass play, and if that's the case, he should see a lot of footballs tonight. He's their leading receiver up front. Seth Dittman anchors that line. Of course, Seth Dittman in that big trade came over from the Ottawa Renegades. You know he'd like to have a good game against his former team.
A 53-yard return by McGarity sets Calgary up first down at the 46. And Jones up to throw. It's batted in the air and almost intercepted. But unable to get to it was Gerald Vaughn as quickly Roger Dunbrack got a hand on that.
What a terrific play by Roger Dunbrack. My, oh my, and he leads this Ottawa defense, but it's Jerome Haywood, the fire plug defensive tackle that consistently pushes the pocket. The secondary, well, Anthony Malbrough, he came to Ottawa from Calgary in that big trade, and he's been nothing short of superb in his one-on-one coverage all season long.
On second down from the shotgun, here comes the rush. Jones unloads. A flag is down. And so is the receiver, Denny Montana, who makes the catch. He'll be short of a first down, but it appears as though the flag is against the Ottawa Renegades. Tonight's referee is Andre Proulx.
A lot of contact downfield. Byron Capers got tangled up and obviously going on Calgary's way.
Face mask, Ottawa 31. First down.
And Malbrough, the former Calgary Stampeder, is called for the face mask, which will set Calgary up with a first down at the Ottawa 25.
And what a terrific way to start for a young quarterback. Malbrough, well, a face mask call right there. There was also another penalty on the play to Capers, but what a terrific start for Tommy Jones to get this kind of field position. You get the free first down. Great off the McGarity kickoff return. Nice way to start.
And the give on a rare running play for the Calgary Stampeders to Scott Reginbold. And he'll pick up a couple for the Stampeders, who are last in the Canadian Football League in rushing yards.
Well, they're last because, Gord, they just don't do it. John Jenkins' offense, there he is, throw, and more throw. In fact, coming into this game, what kind of balance have they had? Well, they've had 39 rushes in 5 games and 221 pass attempts. That's all you need to know about this team.
125 rushing yards for Calgary coming into this game. The next worst team in the league is Edmonton with 330. And again from the shotgun, Jones is under pressure, and he is dropped the football. A scramble forward to the 35-yard line, and the Renegades have it. A golden opportunity for the Calgary Stampeders. But Jones coughs up the ball, and Ottawa gets it at its own 33.
Well, Tim Fleiser was the first man to make contact. Here he is, the defensive end, coming upfield. Ottawa gets the first break of the football game. They're a +2 on the takeaway giveaway category. Tommy Jones trying to desperately make it. Was that a forward motion? I want to see that again. We're going to go to the play here, but I want to see that again. Was that forward or not?
Darnell Kennedy goes to work, quickly gives it off to Josh Ronick, and Ronick is dropped in his tracks by John Grace, and a loss of a couple on the play.
Well, let's go back one more time. You be the judge. We get the beauty of slow motion here, but it really looked to me like, no, that's a good call. It's a great call. He was attempting to throw, but he just didn't get that arm cocked and in motion yet. Excellent call.
Ronick dropped for a loss of 2, the CFL's leading rusher. Stuffed by Calgary early, and on 2nd and 12, Darnell Kennedy goes to work, and he loses the football. And quickly jumping on that is Brian Clark. 2 quick turnovers in the football game, and Calgary has it right back, this time at the 23-yard line of Ottawa.
And Calgary loves to go with a 3-4 alignment because they get good pressure from their front three. How about Antoine Young out on the outside? He's working on Abu Mershik. Now watch swiftly the swim technique. A bang to the shoulder pad right there. He's off and running, and he knocks the ball loose. What a terrific recovery by Brian Clark, but what a great effort by Antoine Young. Number 98, the defensive end. He just blew around Mike Abu Mershik. And 1-to-1 turnovers, and Calgary gets one right back.
And Darnell Kennedy walking off slowly on what looks to be a wobbly right ankle. Calgary gets it back. Tommy Jones from the 23. And another running play from the Stampeders. This time more success for Scott Reginbold, who came into the game with 3 carries on the year. And he slices through the Ottawa defense inside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it at the 14.
You know, Gord, although John Jenkins does not like to run the football, it's apparent by the balance that I just gave you, number of rushes to throws. The ironic thing is his offenses have always had a very high average gain per rush. Now, they haven't done that this year, but historically, he's always up in the 6.5 to 7 yards per rush because teams just don't expect it's coming.
Pickup of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2. Empty backfield, and Jones goes to work. Quick throw to the sideline. The catch is made down there by Calgary's Celicio Sanford, and that'll be good for a first down at the 9-yard line.
Sanford with only 9 catches in the first 5 games, but, you know, 2nd and short, all set up by good production on first down. Pretty easy play to get him to the outside. No way Capers can stay with him, but again, you see the merits of terrific first down yardage. Sets up your whole offense.
Sanford, one of 21 Calgary Stampeders who's in his first year with this team. A massive roster turnover from 1 year ago for Calgary. Jones looking for instruction from the sidelines. And gets the call. Started only 1 game in his senior year at the University of Indiana. Missed most of the season with tendonitis. And again from the shotgun. Jones has time. Steps up and throws. And a flag is down in the end zone. Jones was once again in the grasp. Got the ball away. And it's contact against Ottawa.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Ottawa number 20. First down.
Jonathan Ordway down there in the corner of the end zone gets called.
Yeah, I believe he was working on Albert Connell and the wide receiver, and Connell got in behind him, and Ordway just absolutely tried to haul him down.
Brings up a 1st and goal from the 4 for Calgary. Reginbald is the lone running back. And they'll give it back to him. Reginbald picking his way down, gets stood up quickly, and will get maybe a yard. Gerald Vaughn, the former Stampeder, got in there quickly. And that'll bring up 2nd and goal for Calgary from the 2.
And he had lots of help from Tony White in the middle, number 36. Watch 36, the middle linebacker. You get down in goal line, your middle linebacker has to make these plays, and he sticks his head right up in the hole, gets some support from Gerald Vaughn, but the middle linebacker has to be the one, and Tony White was right there.
2 key penalties in this sequence for Ottawa have Calgary 2nd and goal from the 2. Jones from the shotgun, lots of time, looking back, and now under pressure, throws it to an open area, incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down, and Matt Dunnigan will send the field goal unit on the field.
Well, you see, Gord, one of the challenges of a young quarterback, when the initial pattern wasn't there, he wanted to throw a quick out. It was covered really, really well. You know, you could just see Tommy Jones kind of going, well, what do I do now? He tried to buy a little extra time, but you know what? To his credit, he did the smart thing. Nobody was open. Terrific coverage. He threw it away and said, hey, the worst that's going to happen here is we're going to take advantage of that turnover and try and come away with at least a Charlie Hebert field goal.
Charlie Hebert is 6 for 9 on the year for the Stampeders, who are also last in the league in field goals made. High snap, they get it down, and Hebert puts it through. The Calgary Stampeders have the first points of the game, a 3-0 lead on Ottawa on Wendy's CFL Live. Back here in Ottawa, the Stampeders enjoying a 3-0 lead, and the man who kicked the field goal kicks off for the Calgary Stampeders, Charlie Hebert. And quickly moving the ball ahead for Ottawa is Jason Armstead. A decent return out across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. You wonder if Joe Paopao is seeing the same movie as last week. 16 penalties for Ottawa, and they've cost them early here.
Yeah, it's really been an Achilles heel for them in their 3 losses in a row. But, you know, one guy who's played great is Yo Murphy. He's averaging almost 22 yards a catch. But when Darnell Kennedy wants to go vertical, he's got the speed on the outside. Abi Khan, first round, 2nd pick overall in the draft by Ottawa. Metris Trophy winner from SFU, gets the start for Alexander Gauthier at the right guard.
Darnell Kennedy, we saw him limp off the field after the last series, and so Brad Banks comes in for Ottawa, hands off to Josh Ronick, and so Ottawa already without Kerry Joseph, the number 1 quarterback here. has Darnell Kennedy on the bench.
Well, Calgary defense, John Grace in the trade, big trade from Ottawa. He's playing great at the inside linebacker in that 3-4. And again, like Seth Dithman we talked about, he'd love to have a great game against his former team. And Joey Bose moves into the middle safety spot. He was playing halfback. I think it gives Calgary's defense a lot more flexibility to play man-to-man and zero coverage against the young quarterback.
And that young quarterback, Brad Banks, is dropped quickly by linebacker John Grace, who was the Ottawa Renegades' outstanding player 2 years ago. Grace makes his way off the field, and so there's trouble for Ottawa in the early going.
Well, here's John Grace right here, and you just watch. And again, we just talked about him. Would he like to have a good game? See the stunt. He goes to the outside. Chris Burns isn't quick enough at the tackle to pick him up. And Banks, he picks him up and takes the sack.
And on the punt is Pat Fleming. Scooped up quickly and moved ahead again by the Stampeders as Nicholas Lewis once again gives Calgary good field position, and Joe Paopau's got troubles.
This Friday,
We're the Thunderbirds. Our duty is to save those people.
the Thunderbirds are coming to the rescue.
Come on, let's go!
Thunderbirds are go at theaters Friday.
Darnell Kennedy trying that shaky right ankle, which has been retaped. You can see in the back Kerry Joseph, who may be back next week. And in fact, if Darnell Kennedy can't go, you'd have to think the likelihood of Joseph returning next week becomes greater and greater as Ottawa will make the trip to BC. Meantime, it's another CFL rookie, Tommy Jones, at the controls. Calgary with good field position. Starts at its own 52-yard line. From the shotgun, Jones under pressure, gets it away, and incomplete, short of the intended target, Mike Juhas. And once again, it was the former Stampeder getting in there close, Gerald Vaughn.
Well, I think Ottawa's really taken a look at what Montreal's defense, not that we can compare those two defenses, mind you, but they took a look at what Montreal did a few weeks ago to Calgary. I mean, they just terrorized Marcus Crandall all night with pressure, and Ottawa clearly in this first quarter has tried to bring a lot more people than they normally do. And I think it's a pretty good tactic by Gary Etcheverry, their defensive coordinator.
On second down, here comes the rush again. They unload it to the sideline. This is Albert Connell. And Connell gets across midfield to the Ottawa 54. He'll be well short of a first down, and Charlie Hebert in the punting unit will come on for Calgary.
That's pretty good team speed on defense by Ottawa. You know, they had the all-out blitz going, and it was actually a good play call. Quick screen to Albert Connell on the outside, but pretty terrific recovery and team speed by that Ottawa defense to keep him well short of the first down.
Jason Armstead back to receive the punt from Charlie Hebert. Low snap, and Hebert gets a good punt away. Armstead from the 15, flags are down. And so is Armstead as he's wrapped up right where he started. Here's Michael Whalen.
Yeah, Darnell's gone back in there. He just tweaked his ankle, and they've taped it up. And as you can see, he's coming back in there now for this series.
Well, that's good news, Michael, because I think really to have success tonight, they're not going to do it with Brad Banks. They're going to do it with Darnell Kennedy. And like most young quarterbacks, he'd love to be known as a good thrower and get respect and earn respect with his passing game. But you know what? His greatest attribute may be his running ability. Last week, Gord, against Toronto, he had 90 yards on 11 carries. And, you know, for a young quarterback, when you've always got plan B in your arsenal, that's a huge weapon. I don't know if hurting the ankle now is going to affect that, but I think his feet can help him out a lot tonight.
No yards allows Ottawa to start at its own 30-yard line. Play action. And under pressure and down is Darnell Kennedy. And once again, John Grace gets in for Calgary.
Well, Calgary's defense doing the same that Ottawa is doing to them. They're bringing a lot of people. Scott Coe, there you see 56. He was coming from the outside again. John Grace from the middle. Here's where he lines up, and they get pressure coming off the corner. And Ottawa just makes a mistake. They turn him loose. The center, George Hudson, can't get out quickly enough, and Darnell Kennedy's taken a bit of a pounding here in the first quarter.
Looks like John Grace is back playing for Ottawa, spending his whole time on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And now Darnell Kennedy in second and very long. And here they come again. Kennedy unloads, has a man, he makes the catch and drops it.
Yo Murphy just stretched out, and it looked like it was going to be a beauty, but he couldn't quite bring it in. That was a heck of a throw, too. Calgary only rushed 4, Gord, 3 down linemen, and John Grace did come, but that's a 4-man rush. They drop back in a deep zone. He clears the linebacker with that throw. Perfect pass. Yo Murphy couldn't hang on to it in front of Joey Bose.
And Pat Fleming once again on to punt. Wayne McGarity.
Boy, those are the little things, between the difference between success and not success. Just couldn't squeeze it on a great throw.
Flags are down as McGarity takes it at the 50. Another flag is down as he's brought down at the Calgary 51-yard line.
Well, so far this looks like two teams that have lost 4 and 3 in a row respectively. Kind of sloppy start to this game.
And while we have a moment talking about the flags, we'd like to add our voices to the many who have wished the best to former or longtime CFL referee Jake Ireland.
Yeah, who's still active, but
he's coming back.
He's having a tough time right now, and all the officials tonight, especially Al McColeman, came up to me and said, please say hello to Jake for us. And Jake, we extend our best wishes to you. A speedy recovery.
Offside. Calgary 44. No yards. Ottawa 20. Remains 3rd down.
And so now Ottawa's Pat Fleming will have to retreat to his end zone to punt. And once again, Calgary should have good field position.
Oh, I was just thinking the same thing. You know, they're playing on a pretty short football field tonight so far in this first quarter.
And now back to receive the kick is Nicholas Lewis, who is just on his own side of midfield. Fleming gets the kick away. It's short. Lewis from the Ottawa 50. Quickly ahead is Lewis. Crossed the 35-yard line and tripped up at the 32. And Tommy Jones will have outstanding field position to work with as the first quarter winds down. Tomorrow night on TSN, Wendy's Friday Night Football. Winnipeg versus Edmonton. Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, and Jock Climbing in the studio. And a pretty good football game between the Blue Bombers and the defending Grey Cup champion.
Well, the Blue Bombers trying to rebound. In Edmonton, you know, when I was looking through the league statistics this morning, Gord, I was amazed to see that they've given up more yards defensively than any other team in the league, and that is non-Edmonton-like.
4th possession of the game for Calgary. 3 of those 4 have started in Ottawa territory. Empty backfield for Jones. Here comes the blitz. He unloads it, and it's incomplete. Looking over the middle, but that pass was tipped up in the air by Celicio Sanford and incomplete.
One of the criticisms that Matt Dunnigan had of Marcus Crandall, and one of the reasons why he's not playing, is that he just was never willing to stretch the defense and try to go to a more vertical game. And there's Marcus there, and I think it's going to be a while before he gets back in. Mike Souza, to me, would always be the second guy coming in now, but Tommy Jones, he said, will stretch a defense, but so far in this first quarter, they have really been going to the short passing game. Well, you got Kelly Wiltshire. Look at him right up here, the middle safety. You got a hole in the middle.
And quickly he unloads. Pass is caught, and that'll be good for a first down as he finds Mike Juhas down there, and that will be a first down for Calgary.
And that's a good read because that's where you want to go. And I can only assume that Tommy Jones saw Kelly Wiltshire up on the line of scrimmage. That means the middle's open. That's where you attack, right there to Mike Juhas, the reliable slot back. And that is good recognition by the young quarterback and a nice read by his receiver, and you get an easy first down.
Gain of 15 for Juhas, who last week had 7 catches for Calgary and his first touchdown of the year. First down from the 16. Jones again unloads, but this time Juhas can't hang on as the coverage was provided very quickly by Dave Donaldson. Tommy Jones, we mentioned, Leaf, did not play a lot last year in college in Indiana because of tendonitis, and perhaps because of the shoulder and elbow problems he's had. He has what his coach Matt Dunnigan describes as a funky throwing motion.
Well, Matt said he's kind of a sidearm guy, but I must admit I watched him closely in the warm-up, as you and I both did, and I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. Matt says he's not going to mess around with it right now, not at this time of the year, but you think it's bad?
No.
Oh.
Lots of guys have funky delivery. And here he comes to deliver on second down. Sidearms that one, but well short of the intended receiver, Nicholas Lewis. That'll bring up third down. And the Stampeders will try their second field goal of the game.
Well, tough for any quarterback to throw when you've got a defensive end right in your face. And John Turntine, who's really done a nice job in the support role in the defensive line for Ottawa, was right there against him. Matt Dunnigan, boy, oh boy, Gord, the only thing I worry about with Matt is, does he have the players that have the motivation and the drive and the passion that he had as a player and will have as a coach? And I don't know.
From the 25. Hebert puts it up, and it's good. 2 field goals for the Calgary Stampeders here in the opening quarter. 3:45 to go, and the Stampeders lead by 6. Back here in Ottawa, where the most intense Calgary Stampeder wears a baseball hat and a headset.
Well, no question. Matt Dunnigan, we had a great chat with him yesterday, and he's frustrated. And I think a lot of the frustration that comes from his players really maybe don't have the attitude that he has towards the game and the way it should be played. And I can see that. That's why I could never coach. I wouldn't. I couldn't take it.
Darnell Kennedy swinging that ball out quickly, but not much doing there as the pass is caught by Jason Armstead. He is bottled up very quickly for a loss of a yard.
That's pretty unusual play there. Normally when you throw that, you have a couple of guys out in front trying to lead block. They had no blockers at all, and the only time you would run that is if you thought there was nobody in the area except 1-on-1 to the outside, but that wasn't the case. Look at how many Stampeders were out there. A pretty unusual call.
Market is no gain. 2nd and 10. Kennedy again from the shotgun. Joe Fleming applying some pressure, and mopping up is once again John Grace, who is turning into Ottawa's worst nightmare.
And I'll tell you who really made the play, though, was Joe Fleming for John Grace. They're only rushing 4 people. Watch Fleming right here. He comes down and engages 2 people. That allows John Grace to come to the outside. This is the second time they've run this stunt. See how Ottawa misses it? That's the second time they've run it. It's the second time Grace has got in there. Joe Fleming takes 2 people, and John Grace gets all the headlines.
And as Fleming leads the field, Pat Fleming comes back on once again to punt for the Ottawa Renegades. Calgary has enjoyed tremendous field position in this first quarter. And Nicholas Lewis is back to receive the punt. You know, Leaf, when you look at Calgary, this is a good defensive team. They rank in the top half of the league in most defensive categories as Ottawa takes a time count violation penalty. The problem has been offensively, this team has not been able to take advantage of its opportunity.
And what they do, too, with an offense that throws the ball as much as they do, they can be a lot of 2-and-outs, and you simply can tire your defense out, too. I mean, there's Denny Crehan. He's the defensive coordinator in the middle of your screen, and I don't think personnel-wise it's a bad defense. A lot of people don't like 3-4. I don't mind it, and you're right. I think they have played reasonably well.
Fleming just gets it away, and Lewis gets hammered at the 40-yard line. Serge Sejour gets downfield and makes the stop. Here's Michael Whalen.
Interesting aspect of Joe Palpau's coaching is that he gets all his players to line up numerically for the national anthem, from Kelly Wilshire all the way down to Haywood. And what he does is he emphasizes to his players that they play in the nation's capital and they should be respectful of the fact that they are here and that they're lucky enough to play in Canada.
And I applaud that. I'm an old school guy, and when the team is lined up, look at the coaches there to the left. I think that's crisp. I think it's a discipline, and I really applaud Joe Palpau and his entire team for doing that.
Tommy Jones once again hanging up. Ridgenbolt fumble. And Ottawa has it. The first real break for the Renegades comes. As jumping on that football was number 9, Clinton Lane.
Well, the youngster from Ohio State. There he is, 90, right in the middle of your screen. And Reginbald, a hit from the outside by Gerald Vaughn, knocks it loose. Clinton Wayne, his brother Patrick Wayne, was a linebacker here for many years in Ottawa. And the Ottawa I did it. Good for one a game, Ottawa Rough Riders. I admit it, I always do it. I don't care. The Renegades get a turnover.
I'm just trying not to call them Senators, so don't feel badly.
That's right. Well, here's where they can start to really. They've had nothing going so far. Here's where they've got to take control.
Banks is back in the game for Ottawa. Throwing on the run, incomplete for Darrell Ray. And so Darnell Kennedy is back on the sidelines for Ottawa. And Brad Banks, who had not seen any Canadian Football League action prior to this game, throws it incomplete.
Well, he made a great move to buy himself some extra time, but he just couldn't complete the pass.
Darnell Kennedy, who last year was a quarterback for Calgary, was desperate to play for them. And you had to know that today he wanted a chance against his former team. So it's a bitter pill for him to swallow as he stands on the sideline.
Well, I guess what surprises me, though, Gord, is they never tried to establish Josh Ronick with a young quarterback in the first quarter. And to me, that's just amazing.
And now Banks fumbles the snap. He's in all kinds of trouble, and he is down on the wrong side of midfield. Sheldon Napastuck brings him down, and the crowd in Ottawa is not pleased.
Well, it's not what they've been used to seeing, and Joe Palpa says, come on, get off the field. You know, at least with midfield here, you're going to get some kind of pin Calgary deep, at least with this field position. But, you know, as a coach, this is tough because you don't want your third-string quarterback in there. Injuries necessitated that, it looks like, this far, and things have just not been overly crisp, to say the least, in the first quarter.
Flags are down. Fleming gets the punt away, falls, but there's no flag on that. Lewis watches it roll down to the 10 and gets up to the 13, and there's a flag down there as well. You mentioned Josh Ronick, the CFL's leading rusher. He has 2 carries for -1 yard. And Pow Pow is having a team meeting.
He's having a pow-pow. He's having a pow-wow.
Yeah. And as my colleague Pierre Maguire likes to say, I think he's giving them the weather, not the news.
Yeah.
Pow Pow steams, and Ottawa trails by 6. Joe Pow Pow listening on as the penalties are sorted out here in Ottawa.
Offside. Calgary 39. Penalties decline. No yards. 5-yard penalty. Ottawa. First down.
That will give the Calgary Stampeders their worst drive start of the game. They'll start at their own 16-yard line. Pow Pow's Ottawa Renegades, Leaf, won their first 3 games of the year. They've dropped 3 straight, but a very tough schedule for a team that opened with Winnipeg twice, Toronto twice, Edmonton and Montreal. The Renegades have to be not displeased with their 3-3 record.
Yeah, but the trouble is they travel to BC next week, so you know they're looking at this game as critical to just get them above 500.
Jones from the shotgun, quickly to the sideline to Connell. He'll make the catch for a gain of 7 up to the 22-yard line.
And again, this will be key for a young quarterback, or any quarterback. What can he do on first down to make his situation just that much easier? And that time, Connell, easy, quick out. They're giving him lots of room. 6 yards now, 2nd and 4, and it's a lot better than those 2nd and long situations. You can open up your whole offense now, and you can even run if you want to, which they don't do very often.
Reginbald on play action moves up the block, and the pass is fired out there and caught as Celicio Sanford makes the grab and has a first down up to the 35-yard line. And Celicio Sanford is up and limping. Scott Reginbald has been busier in this game than a Calgary running back's been all season.
Well, here's Sanford, just a little loop out there. He gets some blocking downfield from McGarity, a little block on the outside, and once again, when you only need 4 and you can throw an easy completion like that, it's pretty good offense.
Should be the final play of the opening quarter. Calgary with a 6-0 lead. Jones swings it out. And making the grab and a pretty good run with it as well as Nicholas Lewis, who goes up to the 40-yard line, close to another first down for the Stampeders as the first quarter comes to an end on Wendy's CFL Live.
At the quarter, brought to you by Reebok, the only brand that hangs in every CFL locker.
Couple of field goals by Calgary, which is certainly not exciting, but they could prove to be very valuable by the way this game is going. There's really only one way to say it, guys. That was one of the uglier quarters we have seen in a long time.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, it was bad. It's not pretty, and this is the type of game maybe you could have expected with two young, inexperienced quarterbacks.
Well, that's the whole issue, but they're inexperienced for two different reasons. When you look at Tommy Jones, he doesn't know when to give up on a play. There comes a point where the play is over, you're in the grasp of the defender, and you've got to give it up. Right now, he's completely off balance. His footwork is shattered. There's no reason to try to even retain possession of the ball. Just go down, give up on the play. But with Darnell Kennedy, it's a little bit different because right at this moment here, see how he hesitates? He has to step up into the pocket. Yes, that's a poor block by an offensive lineman, but the quarterback could have helped him a lot by stepping up. He felt that rush and he saw it at the same time. He has to improve. And we'll see what Brad Banks can do, Jock.
And Schultz, when teams go back and look at their season and ask themselves why they won or lost football games, they're never going to go back and see. They might go back and see how many what games they won the turnover battle, what game they lost the turnover battle, but they're never going to go back and see which game how many times did they get sacked versus sack the opponent. Don't be afraid to take sacks if you're the quarterback. Obviously, we have an ugly football game here, David, but it makes for its own interesting sort of football when you have two young quarterbacks in there.
And if you want to talk sacks, John Grace is fine with that. He'll keep adding to the stats all night long.
Yes, he will.
6-0.
They're in 3 sacks. They have minus 42 net yards. The assessment of the panel, bang on. A sloppy opening quarter. Calgary opens the second on 2nd and short. Jones, play fake, has time, now under pressure to the sideline and incomplete. And he was looking down there for Nicholas Lewis and couldn't quite get it to him.
Well, here's where to me it defies logic to have 2nd and that's not even really 1. And you throw like that, and it only tells me that you're going to gamble on 3rd down if you do that, because you know, why don't you run the football, pick up the 1st down? You've got a young quarterback. You want to string some 1st downs together. He ends up taking a hit from Fleiser, but I can only assume that from their own 40-yard, 39-yard line, they're going to gamble here. But I really honestly believe when you got a young quarterback in there, make 1st downs. And on 2nd and short, I don't know why in the world you wouldn't run it.
And 3rd now and a long yard for Calgary. Flags are down. Ottawa look to jump. Jones crosses the 40-yard line and should have the 1st down, but the penalty should make it easier for Calgary. Joe Paopau's team, Leaf, 4 times already this season has had double digits in penalties.
They've really hurt themselves on their 3-game losing skid, especially.
Offside. Ottawa 99. 1st down.
Jerome Haywood is offside, so a free one for Calgary. 16 penalties last week against the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the game here that they won against Toronto had a penalties in that, so they just kind of traded places.
And Jones goes back to the shotgun on 1st and 10 from his own 44. Here comes the rush. Jones gets it away, and the ball is dropped. Albert Connell in tight coverage couldn't hang on, as his quarterback Tommy Jones had problems of his own.
Well, both defenses getting all kinds of pressure on the quarterbacks tonight. Jerome Hayward right in the face that time of Tommy Jones. There it is. And Jones is strong. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He's able to still stay up and try to deliver a pretty good pass. But you see the ball was wobbling, and that's because Jerome Hayward had a hold of him.
George McCullough got a hand in there as well to knock the ball out. 2nd and 10. Jones, lots of time. Over the middle, incomplete and almost intercepted. That went through 2 pairs of hands, and Kelly Wiltshire was the last one who almost made the grab.
Well, that was a rocket thrown by Tommy Jones, but McGarity, there was no way he was going to hang on to it. And, you know, in the warm-up, Gord, he was high a lot to his receivers, and just seemed to, you know, you and I both commented, like the offense didn't look overly smooth in the warm-up, and that sometimes isn't a great indicator, but to me, you know, I like warm-ups to be crisp, boom, get your job done, get off the field, get ready for the game, and I don't think it was too crisp.
When you struggle against air, it's not usually a good sign.
That's right.
Jason Armstead back for the punt from Charlie Hebert. Armstead from his 17-yard line. And Armstead finds a seam, gets out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. His Renegades still down by 6.
19 of the top 20, although Agassi was bounced today. But 19 of the top 20 players in the world in that tournament. What a credit to them.
Brad Banks continues to work at quarterback for Ottawa from the shotgun on first down. Hands it off, and the ball is loose. The Stampeders have it. Mike Maurer with the carry. Only his second carry of the year. And Banks and the offense will make their way off the field as Scott Coe recovered the ball for the Stampeders.
Well, this is pretty ugly, Gord. There's no way you can sugarcoat this. Pretty poor exchange. Mike Maurer, 19, the fullback, never really had a handle on it. Scott Coe, 56. There you see the recovery. Both teams committing all kinds of turnovers with young quarterbacks in the game. And I don't know, it looked like he put it in there pretty well. And once he gets it in there, it's the running back's responsibility. But once again, the Stampeders with a glorious opportunity to add to this lead.
And you'd have to think that they better take advantage one of these days.
Well, I mean, they got 3 points off one turnover, and they're in position to get at least 3 right now. And as they have most of the night, the Ottawa defense is backed against the wall.
On first down, Jones under pressure, gets it away. Denny Montana, the former Ottawa Renegade, makes the catch and has his legs cut out from underneath of him by Anthony Malbrough. But still, Montana gets down to the 23-yard line for a gain of 7.
And again, good first down production. But what I like here is to get Tommy Jones outside. Cut the field in half for a young quarterback. You still got 3 receivers out here to work with, but you don't have to. Now, he thinks he's a great cerebral reader of defenses, but trust me, when you're a young quarterback, it's all a blur to you. So I like that. Cut the field in half.
That pass isn't going into the Spiral Hall of Fame either.
He doesn't throw a tight spiral, I'll tell you.
Again from the shotgun, Jones whistles one out there this time. The catch is made. Wayne McGarity, but the tackle is made as well by Malbrough. And that will leave Calgary a couple of yards short of a first down.
Well, you know, Gord, John Jenkins is a friend of mine, and so is Matt. But, I mean, I just can't watch this game and not absolutely think that this offense is so flawed at times when you have 2nd and 2 and you don't run the football. I mean, they lost yardage there. They lost about a half a yard when you have at least 2 tries in that area to pick up 2 yards and keep a drive going. And to me, that is without a doubt the flaw in this system.
Charlie Hebert good from 10 and 25. This from the 32. A line drive, and it too is good. He's accounted for all the scoring for Calgary as the Stampeders lead Ottawa 9-0. Joe Paopao might be better off telling his offense to take a knee twice in this series just to limit the damage. Minus 42 net yards. They have not gained positive yardage on a play yet in this football game.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. I mean,
2 turnovers.
You can say it's you know, quarterbacking. They got young guys that aren't performing tonight, but you know, I'm still amazed. In field position, you know, who knows, but I'm just amazed that they haven't tried to establish Josh Ronick. They've got the best running game in the league. They got the #1 rusher, and yet they really haven't even tried to establish that at all.
Demetris Bendros takes the kickoff, moves outside and crosses the 25-yard line, gets out to the 30, and is finally met down there and thrown out.
Just to finish that thought too, Gord, I mean, Saskatchewan in their win over Calgary last week, Kenton Keith had 107 yards. Now, granted, 47 was on one play, but you know, you would think Calgary's, you know, you would try to get that running game going. They're at the 30-yard line here. You know, why not? And the other side of the coin, that offense, you know, when it's really clicking on all cylinders and you're throwing at maybe a 70% completion rate, I guess it's okay. But when you can't run on 2nd and 2 in the red zone, I don't know.
Dunnigan telling us yesterday, admitting that he and John Jenkins have not been on the same page for much of this season. They're not reading the same book. Banks. Shovel pass. That's broken up. And jumping in there for Calgary was Antoine Young, who almost caught that shovel pass.
Antoine Young just does a superb job. What you try to do is to keep yourself equidistant. Let it run, and then hopefully we can freeze it. Let it run. Okay, stop it right there. Antoine Young, here he is. He's equidistant between the quarterback and the back, and he makes the perfect play on this. That is a heck of a job. Normally in Calgary's scheme, they like the linebackers to be the one guy out there, but Antoine Young to the short side did it perfectly.
Brings up second down. Banks has time over the middle. The pass is caught. First gain of positive yardage, and the fans here in Ottawa give a sarcastic cheer as the catch is made by newcomer Curtis Jackson.
And it's still 3 yards short of the first down, though. But they don't care. Positive yardage. You know, let's call it like it is. I mean, this has been a very poor first half of football.
Well, we've seen 3 not raw quarterbacks, but 3 quarterbacks all in their first few games of activity in the Canadian Football League. And Leaf, you know this as well as anyone. This is still a quarterback's league.
Well, sure it is. Tommy Jones was the unknown, but Darnell Kennedy, we thought he had better skills than he was able to show.
Look out down there. Wayne McGarity almost had his head taken off, but he was able to hang on. There's a flag down there, and that may have had something to do with it. Or in fact, 2 flags down on this play. McGarity back in the lineup for Calgary after missing last week with a shoulder.
Well, we know this call for sure.
Kelly Wiltshire with the face mask.
He almost became a bobblehead doll there.
So Ottawa compounding its lack of offensive success with turnovers and penalties. A witch's brew.
And that's not good news. Kelly Wilshire looks like he's got some hamstring challenges trying to stretch it out on the sidelines, and he has been really a consistent force at the middle safety spot since he moved there from linebacker this year, and doesn't look like he's going to make this series.
Down repeated, they did not call the face mask. That was no yards. The flag down there by McGarity. Offside was also the call against Calgary.
Well, this is a pretty tough one to miss, but somehow they do. I don't know. Kelly Wiltshire, that's how he popped his hamstring. He pulled that face mask so hard.
And so Fleming once again back to punt from the 12. And just got that away. This is Nicholas Lewis, and he almost had his head taken off. Brought down at the 45-yard line. They'll mark him down by contact, actually the 47. And Kyrie's Hebert got it. And once again, though, Calgary will enjoy excellent field position.
That's close, too.
10-13 to go in the second quarter. Calgary with a 9-0 lead on Ottawa. Stampeders looking for their first win since the opening week of the season. And Tommy Jones, the 24-year-old rookie, making his first Canadian Football League start. Jones out to Connell, a one-hopper to him, and it's incomplete. Here again is Michael Whalen.
Hey guys, the reason that Darnell Kennedy is not in there is that his ankle has been swelling up, and they're going to reassess it at halftime. But I would think that maybe Mr. Banks is going to finish off this game. And also out there right now playing for the Renegades is 39 Gerald Vaughn, and Vaughn's got a sprained right knee, but they just put a brace on him, and he just wants to get back in there.
Hey, there's a rookie quarterback in there. No defensive players are coming out. This is a stats game for defensive players. Jones has time. Just dumps it off, and making the catch there is Scott Regenbald. He has his legs cut out from underneath him by Anthony Malbrough, and once again he'll be short of a first down by a couple of yards.
And again, Tommy Jones has been successful when he's gone to the rollout. When he's got outside the tackle, he sees better. He's got some options if he chooses to run, although he's not a running kind of quarterback. Big guy, though, 6'3", 230, size 15 feet.
He actually played on the kickoff return team in Indiana as well.
As what?
Well, he wasn't returning. I think he was just, getting in the way.
If you'd said he was a return guy,
No. Size 15s?
Is he leading the wedge?
I think he was the wedge. Charlie Hebert on to punt. And Jason Armstead back to receive.
And he can fly. Jason Armstead, legitimate 4.2 speed. If he gets a seam, you watch.
Armstead from his 9. Another flag is down. Armstead across the 20 and picks his way out neatly to the 30-yard line. A 46-yard kick, a return of 21 for Jason Armstead. Wendy's CFL Live continues on TSN after this. Calgary was called for holding on that last punt. Ottawa will make them redo it. Charles Aspen, the man flagged for the infraction, and so Charlie Hebert will retreat to his 30-yard line to punt this away. Ottawa desperate for some kind of break.
Well, and this is the guy that can do it, Jason Armstead right there. He's caught some long bombs for them this year. He's got a great receiving average of almost 20 yards a catch, and he has broken some key punt returns and kickoff returns earlier in the season when they were on their win streak.
Hebert off the side of his foot.
That's a huge difference in yardage, that holding penalty by Charles Aspen. Look what happens now. You got it out to the 44-yard line, and boy, those are the little things that, just seem to add up during a game.
A 15-yard pickup for the Ottawa Renegades. Coming up at halftime, Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, and Jacques Clammy will have their thoughts on this game in the second half of our doubleheader coming up, as well as the Montreal Alouettes try to continue their undefeated string. You and I will see Montreal next week at home against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Brad Banks continues at quarterback under pressure. Banks steps up and fires up there. The pass is complete to Dimitris Bindros. Incomplete, they'll call it, as the second official came in and waved it off, and the pass falls incomplete.
It's too bad. I mean, Brad Banks did a nice job to get away from the pressure of Scott Coe coming on the outside, and a bit of a tough angle to see.
That bounced.
A one hopper. The natives are restless.
Oh, are they ever. Also coming up at halftime, Michael O'Shea will visit the panel.
Boy, has their defense played well in Toronto. They're on an 18-day break. It seems a long time.
Banks from the shotgun sets up the screen and gets it up there to Josh Ronick. And Ronick, who finally gets a touch, gets inside Calgary territory to the 50-yard line. A gain of 15 yards.
21 receptions, his 22nd of the year, and none bigger than this to try to turn the flow of this game around. A screen, an excellent call. Joe Paopao calls all the plays for the Ottawa offense, and that was a very timely one there.
With 7 minutes left in the second quarter, Ottawa gets its first down of the game. And this is Ronick again through the middle of this Calgary defense inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Should be another first down for Ottawa.
Well, normally when you go against a 3-4 defense, you often get bigger guys blocking against smaller linebackers. And right here, Ronick up through the hole. The right guard, Abi Khan, who led the screen that time, caved in. The pass took on the nose. And back-to-back first downs for the Renegades.
So where's that been?
Well, what did I say in the first quarter? I mean, it just boggled my mind that they weren't using their best weapon.
Another first down. This is Ronick again. And here he goes again. Inside the 30. Ronick inside the 20 to the 17-yard line.
And trust me, what's available when that play works is when he hands off to Ronick inside, if Brad Banks decides to keep it later, it's open. Here's Ronick. Watch, Abi Khan again, 65. He picks off Brian Clark. What a terrific play by the rookie right guard. Ronick on the run, but I'll tell you, Brad Banks, if he wants to fake it, he's got some room to the outside.
A pickup of 22 on that play. Banks, he'll take it himself. Loses the football. And pouncing on it was George Hudson, the center. Hudson saving the day there for the Ottawa Renegades, pouncing on that loose football.
Well, it looked like there was an opening, but Napastuk from the nose just pivoted around to knock the ball loose.
So a save by the center. And it was actually a pickup of 3 on the play. On second down, Banks swinging it up, picked up by Armstead. Inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line, very close to another Ottawa first down. Now they're cooking.
Well, interesting call to the wide side of the field. 3 receivers wide. Here's Jason Armstead right there. It's like a swing. This ball is live because it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, but there's no way that the linebacker can stay with him. George White, linebacker against 4.2 speed. I like that matchup every time.
Just short of the first down was Armstead. It'll be 3rd and about a half a yard for Ottawa, and Joe Paopao is going.
Wow, this is a message drive. You have to go here. I mean, it's 9-0, and you finally got some momentum. You've had some positive plays, positive yardage. You've racked together some first downs, and no reason to think. Now, the last time I was here doing a game, Gord, they were using Jerome Haywood in the backfield. We'll see if they've still stayed with that offensive plan in short yardage situations.
It didn't work out quite as well as they'd hoped.
Well, I remember against Winnipeg, they gave it to him on one goal line. He had a couple of yards, and then they gave it to him again, and he fumbled, and that was a huge turning point in that game.
He remains on the sideline. Moore and Ronick in the backfield. Straight ahead is Banks, and should have it. Last week, the Ottawa Renegades likely could have beaten Toronto. But couldn't take advantage of their opportunities, Lee.
Sorry, Gord. I love that look right there. You see a bunch of big guys banging heads, and the quarterback sneaks through, and it's close, but I think he got it.
By half the football. Ottawa with a 1st and goal now from the 8. Renegades looking for their first points of the football game. Just making their way now into positive yardage.
Well, it's interesting. Calgary in goal line now has gone to a 4-3 alignment. They bring Tyner Lynham in, expecting the rush from Ottawa.
Banks tosses it off for Ronick. And he is strung along by that Calgary defense. And in there to make the tackle, the first man was the aforementioned Tyler Lynham, who came on for the short yardage defense for the Stampeders.
Pretty good strategy by Denny Greham, the D coordinator for Calgary. They bring in Lynham. Now he comes out. Joey Bose, the middle safety, comes back in. But, if Ottawa's going to go to that double tight end, that was great counter strategy very quickly by Calgary's D.
Second and goal for Ottawa. Banks, here comes the rush, throws to the end zone, touchdown! Dimitris Bendros.
Demetrius Bendros lined up as the number 3 receiver, trips to the field, and he was going to the corner all the way on Joey Bose, the middle safety. Brad Banks was looking there from the snap of the football. Bendros got open. He's got his 3rd touchdown, and finally the forgiving fans here at Frank Clair Stadium are up on their feet cheering.
Playing in his first CFL game, Brad Banks engineers an 8-play, 65-yard touchdown drive. 32 of the yards coming on the ground from Josh Ronick. And he caps it off with his first career touchdown pass in this league.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean, that's their weapon. I mean, their big weapon is Josh Ronick in the running game. Ronick, the league leader. They run the ball as the best of any team in the league. Shocking to me why they didn't go to it earlier, but they did. And they only trail by 2. Pretty good drive. Demetrius Bendros, he's another guy that, you know, like, he's one of these guys, Gord, if you get him involved early, you'll have him for the whole game. But if you keep him waiting for 3 quarters, you might not find Demetrius. But he's got his 3rd touchdown of the season. He's involved early, and that's a good thing for Ottawa, too.
Kind of like a young Leaf Pedersen.
Oh, I was patient. I waited till the 4th quarter. Till we'd stretched the defense and decided to go underneath. That's when I came into play.
Celicio Sanford on the kickoff return brings the ball up to the 31-yard line, and now Tommy Jones will go back to work. His team has been afforded good opportunities thus far in the game, but has but 3 field goals to show for it thus far.
Really trying to figure out the identity here in the first half for the offense with Tommy Jones, and I guess it's clearly to throw underneath the coverage, because I don't think he's thrown a ball downfield more than 15 in the 20-yard range. And at some point in time, he's going to have to go vertical. That's what they said he would give this offense that Marcus Crandall didn't. But we've yet to see it.
Jones gives it off to Scott Diebert, and Diebert slices across the 35-yard line out to the 37. And Gerald Vaughn is there to make the stop. 9-7, Calgary leads 2:51 to play in the second quarter. Matt Dunnigan, general manager and coach of the Calgary Stampeders, looking on his team with a 9-7 lead. All 9 of the points coming from 3 field goals. And his offense goes back to work. Second down, Tommy Jones from the shotgun. Throws up the field. The catch is made by Mike Juhas up to the 50-yard line. Good for a first down. Calgary back home next week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and tickets available at 403-289-0258.
Can you believe last week they had 35,000 for that game with Saskatchewan? Saskatchewan always a great draw on the road, but with my hats off to the Calgary fans to support like that. That's truly terrific.
Been good there for a long time.
Yes, they have.
Jones throws for a first down. Calgary just outside its own 50. Jones under pressure through the middle, makes the completion to Nicholas Lewis, and Lewis is down to the Ottawa 41-yard line. 2:17 to go here in the second quarter, a gain of 19.
Good job to get away from the rush. Sean Gallant coming from the outside, totally free, but Tommy Jones at 6'3", 200 is able to stand in and actually see over the top of Gallant and complete that pass. That's a tough ball to complete, but he hung in there.
First down from the 41. Clock running at 2 minutes. Here comes the rush. Jones unloads, has a man, and he makes the catch. Caught down there by Nicholas Lewis in double coverage inside the 20-yard line down to the 19.
Yeah, Kelly Wiltshire, the starting middle safety, is not in right now. Obviously, the hamstring is bothering him. Sean Gallant is his replacement, number 22, and he is in the middle. That's where they went the last time with Nick Lewis. Probably coincidence. As a young quarterback, he's just trying desperately to find anybody open. I doubt it's by design. But nevertheless, Wiltshire is out.
A gain of 22. First down for the 19. Jones throws a flutter ball out there. And arguing on the play that he was interfered with is Ottawa defensive back Dave Donaldson, who says he was held up.
Well, he said he might have had a chance to almost make the interception on that play, and I'm not sure he maybe didn't have a chance. Andre Arlane to the outside grabbed him. The ball just enormously overthrown, but well, I don't know. See, it was supposed to be a screen, and he's downfield blocking anyway.
Tommy Jones had a pass intercepted for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Montreal, and Dunnigan said, don't worry about it. My first pass in the league was intercepted and taken down to the 2.
I remember.
Second down. Jones under pressure, throws to the end zone. It's incomplete. Good coverage down there by Jonathan Ordway.
I don't know that Mike Juhas doesn't have a bit of a case here. That ball, once again, Tommy Jones with a propensity to throw over his receivers tonight. This ball is high, and a good move to the outside. Juhas is open, but that's just an awful pass, and I guess the contact was only created when the ball was thrown over top. But you know, you and I did watch him in the warm-up, and he does not exactly throw the tight spiral, does he? I didn't hear your no.
No, sorry.
Thank you. That was a little better.
Trying to be kind. Charlie Hebert with a 27-yard field goal try. Flags are down. The kick is good.
What a shock.
1:29 to go here in the first half. Reminder, Toronto linebacker Michael O'Shea will join Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, and Jock Climie coming up at halftime. And the penalty appears to be against Calgary.
Procedure. Calgary, no end. Still third down.
No end is right.
No end to the penalties.
Knock him back 5 yards. This will be a 32-yard field goal try. Chance to make it a 5-point lead. High snap. Hebert puts it up and does it again. He's done it all for Calgary thus far tonight. 4 field goals for Hebert and a 12-7 game for Calgary. 1:24 to go here in the first half in Ottawa. The Renegades trailing 12-7. Brad Banks on play action, lost the football.
That's a new one.
They're going to call that incomplete. Antoine Young can't believe that.
I kind of have to see this one again. Little fake. He's going to throw the screen out here, decide, whoop, maybe I'll go somewhere else. I think that's a fumble. It was not going forward. You watch one more time. Is he going forward? No. That's a fumble.
Should be too. And Antoine Young has a good case.
Oh, I think he does.
And the Stampeders are arguing loudly from the sideline. Second down. Here comes the rush. They throw it over the middle. Ronick makes the catch, but he's brought down quickly by John Grace, well short of a first down.
What a job by John Grace. He's had himself some first half. He's had a sack. That time, Ronick in the open field with the blitz coming. Grace had him one-on-one. Perfect coverage. There he is right here. Watch this. He's just spying. When he sneaks out there, boom, he's right there to make the play.
Well, at first glance, Lee.
Look at that. Look at the explosion. I mean, that is pretty darn good play by your inside linebacker.
He's part of the 4-for-4 trade. Calgary cut 2 of the players it got, including quarterback Romero Miller, but Dunnigan says that Grace and Dittman alone make it worth it for the Stampeders. McGarity, flags are down. He'll step out of bounds at the 38-yard line. 1:02 to go here in the opening half. This was the trade. Romero Miller and Fred Perry have both been cut by Calgary. Grace and Dittman remain. Malbro's a starter. Kai Ellis is hurt. Shortino is the backup kicker. And the draft pick, second overall in the Canadian Football League draft, was Ibrahim Khan, who tonight is making his first Canadian Football League start as a rookie.
And Kai Ellis, when he has been on the roster and not hurt, has been getting spot duty, so he has been a contributor. And I like Kai Ellis.
No yards was the call against Ottawa. Calgary the first down at his 41-yard line. Tommy Jones, the man from Indiana. And Matt Dunnigan has already said that he will start next week against Winnipeg, regardless of what happens tonight. Jones whips that ball out there. The catch is made very quickly by Denny Montana, who is wrapped up quickly by Anthony Malbro. And that'll be a pickup of 7 yards to the 47-yard line.
Now let's see how well Tommy Jones runs the hurry up. 56 seconds to go. There's no time to huddle here. Get your play and get them up and get moving.
Denny Montana did not play last week for Calgary. He has a cracked bone in his thumb. Clock running. 2nd and 3. And they'll get off to Scott Reginbald, who is close to the first down as he crosses the 50-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 52, and that should be good for a first down. Now you run it.
Well, I just find it a little funny that you wouldn't run it earlier when you had all kinds of time. Now there's 38 seconds to go, and you're running it in a hurry-up style offense. To me, it's just not totally in sync with what you might want to do. But, again, that's just my opinion, and John Jenkins has his about how to run an offense.
Jones floats it up there. The catch almost made down there by Albert Connell as he juggled it. Check that, Denny Montana. He could not hang on to it, and the clock will stop with 25 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And I think to be realistic, they need about 15 yards more for a field goal attempt. Here's Denny Montana to the outside, and almost. Kelly Wiltshire, number 1, is now back in the ball game. And he's the middle safety. Watch him. He's right up here on the line of scrimmage. That's usually a hint that you might want to attack the middle.
He drops off in coverage. Jones looking back, throws across the middle. Catch is made by his favorite target, Nicholas Lewis. Lewis is thrown out of bounds. And a first down for Calgary at the 43-yard line. 17 seconds left.
Well, they've done their job. They're in shape for a Charlie Hebert field goal attempt. His longest in the season's been 51, so they're right about his longest range right now. Wind is not a factor here tonight.
If anything, it's behind him, but there is not much of a wind at all. On first down, again from the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Jones unloads. And the catch is made, although short of a first down, by Albert Connell. Although they may mark him generously up to the 33-yard line, which would be very close to first down yardage. 10 seconds to go in the opening half.
And that's good for Calgary. They get the measurement, so they've got all kinds of time to call 1 or 2 plays with 10.8 seconds remaining.
And Connell just did get a first down.
So if I'm Tommy Jones right now and Matt Dunnigan, I'm not sure what he's yelling at him, but you probably got a chance for one more play. Here's where I take my shot at the end zone. And if worse comes to worse, then you have the Charlie Hebert field goal. But I mean, if more normal strategy here would say, here, take my shot for the 6, settle for the 3 if I have to. Well, they get 1-1 to the short side of the field.
Clock is running though, Leaf. 5 seconds. Jones whips it up to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Ordway. And Ordway up and running with it. That was the last thing the Calgary Stampeders wanted to do in that situation. Turn the ball over with a chance to kick another field goal. Could have been 3, winds up being nothing. And Calgary, after a sloppy first half, has a 12-7 lead. Back with more in a bit, but first, Wendy's CFL Live at the half.
Yeah, welcome into the CFL Live studios where we've added a body. We are very pleased to be joined tonight by Toronto Argonaut linebacker Mike O'Shea. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight, a little bit about what's been going on with your team. But first, Mike, you just sit still for just 1 sec. We're going to answer the poll. We had this Rona poll question thing that we asked at the top of the show. We had people log on to tsn.ca and weigh in on who do they think should be the starting quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders. Jones gets the start tonight, but it's Crandall that's getting the popular vote to this point with 53% of the vote. Back with more with Mike O'Shea right after this. 1995, a classic CFL matchup between Baltimore and Birmingham. Yeah, first quarter, Stallions on the move. Tracy Ham throws it up to Shannon Culver. 7-0 Baltimore. Second quarter, Barracudas pinned deep. Matt Dunnigan is in trouble and sacked by Alfred Payton. Second half now, all Baltimore is Ham. It's his favorite target. Receiver Chris Armstrong makes the catch, and the Stallions win big, 36-8. Meantime, tonight, here are the halftime numbers from Ottawa, brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian with guest stat analyst Mike O'Shea. Mike, go.
Well, as we look at the first half, I tell you what, 64 yards total offense for Ottawa. That's not going to get it done, but tail of tape, 5 turnovers. Sloppy game. Not fun to watch.
12 years on the field, perhaps a future in television. We'll see. Michael Whalen spoke with Matt Dunnigan after the half.
Matt, you're up by 5 points, but you should be up by a whole lot more.
We should?
Yes.
Who says who?
Well, I think you should. I think that you're not showing the kind of finish you need.
Well, obviously we've had some chances, but I'd rather be in this position than the other side of the score. But we got a young guy out there battling, getting his feet wet right now, and he's hanging tough. Defense is playing incredibly well. Our special teams has been there. You're absolutely right, Michael. We should have more points on the board, but the fact is we're working through a lot of things, and we'll take this score right now.
All right, good luck in the second half,
Michael.
Matt.
Yeah, they do have the lead. The lone touchdown for the first half is right here. Brad Banks with his first ever touchdown pass to Dimitris Bendros. 12-7, third quarter's next.
Ottawa trailing by 5. Here's head coach Joe Papa with Michael Whalen.
Joe, can you bring us up to date on Darnell? Do you think you're going to have him in the second half?
No, we popped his ankle pretty good, and he can barely walk, and we're going to go with Brad Banks, and we just got to give the kid some time, and we think he'll be fine.
It can't be too easy to go with a third-string quarterback, because the young man having trouble hanging on to the ball at times.
Well, you know what? That's how they get better. Learn from your mistakes and just keep playing. We got 30 minutes of good football left, and you know what? I think he's starting to settle down.
Okay, good luck to you, Joe. Thank you for stopping by.
Okay.
So Brad Banks would line up as number 3 on the depth chart behind Kerry Joseph, who's hurt, and Darnell Kennedy. Who's the next one? That young man right there is Tyler Paopao, son of the coach. Number 5, I guess, is Russ Jackson. He's busy teaching school.
Russ would not be here tonight.
No. So, Tyler, it may be you next.
Well, you never know. If Brad Banks happened to wish that on anybody, but if he ever got injured, it would be the son of Joe Paopao.
Back to receive the kickoff is Dimitris Bendros from his 23-yard line. And Bendros trying to get outside. Waits for a block. Gets one. Here comes Bendros up to the 40-yard line. He ran about 80 to get 20. But he's finally brought down by Joey Bozé. Good field position for Banks to go to work. Now, if you're wondering who Brad Banks is, 2 years ago at the University of Ottawa had a record-setting season, University of Iowa rather, had a record-setting season. In fact, so good, he was second to Carson Palmer in voting for the Heisman Trophy. He was also named the winner of the Davey O'Brien Trophy for the top quarterback in U.S. college football, beating out Palmer in a close vote.
Well, he's going to have to rely on some of those great things he did in college to get into this game tonight and get some offense going. His team trails by 5, and really other than one drive in the first half have done nothing.
Josh Ronick, not much doing there, gets out to about the 42-yard line. Ronick, the CFL's leading rusher by a wide margin. Had 32 yards in one drive. In fact, the only scoring drive for Ottawa in the opening half. And once again, former Renegade John Grace makes the stop.
And John Grace has been everywhere in that first half, and he begins the third quarter that way, too. He's had a sack. He's had some great tackles in the open field. Josh Ronick caught a pass out there, had some room, but John Grace was immediately there. He has really brought and put his game face on tonight.
Market is no gain. Banks has lots of time, stands in, delivers, and the pass goes through the hands of Yo Murphy. And the rookie needed some help there, and the veteran didn't give it to him.
Yeah, that's tough because they only had a 3-man rush. Lots of protection for Brad Banks there to step up into the pocket. You're going to get a good look at it here. And, you know, they fake the blitz. Sean Coe moves to the outside. Everybody's dropping back, and Yo Murphy takes the shot but gets into the open lane. Should have been able to hang on, would have had the first down, and yet the young quarterback, when he needs some confidence in his receivers, he sure didn't get it.
6th punt of the game for Pat Fleming. And back to pick it up is Wayne McGarity. Garrity from the 20. Gets out to the 28-yard line. And that's where Calgary start. A 48-yard kick. Return of 8. We're back after this. Highward Market here to Frank Clair Stadium, where Tommy Jones goes to work with Calgary leading by 5. Empty backfield. And here come the Renegades. Jones slings one out there. The catch is made by Nicholas Lewis. A gain of about 3 as he gets out to the 32.
Well, to start the third quarter, the Ottawa defense, Gary Echeverry's just decided he's going to come after Tommy Jones. And when you do that on first down, if Jones just isn't totally sharp, you're not going to get a whole lot of yardage. You got almost 5 on that play. But first down production, as we talked about in the first half, Gord, to me will be key for Calgary in the second half.
Nicholas Lewis leads Calgary with 5 catches for 67 yards. Jones again fires it out there. McGarity makes the catch, gets out across the 40-yard line. A first down up to the 42. Leaf, we mentioned earlier, this is a quarterback's league, and tough for young quarterbacks, especially with complicated offense. The John Jenkins offense, the playbook is like the phone book.
Well, it doesn't look overly complicated tonight. I mean, you know, their trips, 2 receivers clear, the third guy goes to the out. What I think is a little surprising is at some point tonight, Tommy Jones, he did late in the second quarter, is going to have to go a little more vertical. These short passes, you know, that's a tough way to make a lot of first downs.
Long out, and the catch is made down there. And down to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 7. We asked Tommy Jones to scout himself.
I like to think that I can, you know, get the ball down the field, you know, be able to read defense as well and see what they're doing and try to make some plays, get the ball down there to the receivers on big plays. You know, capable of getting out of the pocket, making some plays on the run, getting away from some guys, things of that sort. But really, I like sitting in the pocket and, you know, reading the defense about and letting the receivers make their option reads and things of that sort, getting the open routes and just getting rid of the ball.
Danny Montana, the last catch, a gain of 7. Now he goes back to Nicholas Lewis, who makes the grab down to the 47-yard line of Ottawa. Good for a first down.
It's funny, Tommy Jones said he prefers to stay in the pocket, and yet tonight I think he's been better when he's gone to the rollout to at least get to the tackle or outside the tackle. But that time from the pocket, a nice strike to Nick Lewis, who's been his favorite target.
Pick up of 14 yards. So Calgary on the move here in the third quarter. Stampeders trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. McGarity looked offside there. Jones pump fakes, goes back to McGarity underneath. And McGarity's got a first down and a bunch more as he slides across the 30-yard line.
You know what, Gordon, you and I did a little segment for SportsCenter tonight, 6:30 Eastern, and one of the things we talked about was Tommy Jones' ability when the pressure comes to be able to buy himself some time. That's where they thought he would be better than Crandall. Watch right here. He does buy himself some time. Gerald Vaughn is coming, but he's able to fake, step up in the pocket, and hit McGarity. And I'm not sure they could have done that 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's what could have been a horrible play turned into a positive play.
Jones 5 for 5 on this drive. Make that 6 for 6 as he hits Albert Connell. And Connell still going inside the 10. Drives his way down to the 7-yard line. A pickup of 22 yards and another Calgary first down. And this Ottawa defense is suddenly on its heels.
Well, I like this play to the outside because the left tackle, Seth Dithman, and Jay McNeil, the left guard, are coming as well. It's a quick screen to the wide receiver, but here come the big guys, and the big guys get out in front and create the room for Connell on the outside, and that's a well-executed play, especially against an Ottawa defense on first down that was bringing 6 people.
First and goal from the 8. Jones has time, drops it off, the catch is made, the ball is dropped by McGarity and goes out of bounds. Now, will they rule that a catch and a fumble?
Well, that's definitely a catch and a fumble. This is an interesting ruling.
Ruling on the field as the pass is completed at the 5-yard line. Ball fumbled into the end zone by Calgary. They remain. It will be second down at the 5. Second.
So Calgary will maintain possession at the 5-yard line because McGarity was the last player with possession.
Well, there you see it. Malbrough actually punches the ball loose into the end zone, and it goes to where he last had possession of the play, of the ball rather.
2nd and goal from the 5. Calgary has had to settle for 4 field goals thus far in the game. Here comes the rush. Jones to the end zone. Incomplete. That ball drops in between Albert Connell and Celicio Sanford. Brings up 3rd down, and on comes the man of the night, Charlie Hebert for Calgary.
Well, for Tommy Jones, though, that was a nice drive in the 3rd quarter here. I mean, he put some great passes together, and he knows his kicker, Charlie Hebert, has been perfect on the evening, and they're going to get some points out of this drive. But, oh, boy, he showed some poise there, boy.
Hebert is 4 for 4 tonight. He's accounted for all of Calgary's scoring. The Stampeders came into the game with only 6 field goals in 5 games. Hebert is looking for his 5th tonight. Ball is down, and Hebert puts it through. 5 field goals for Hebert, now an 8-point lead for Calgary. Darnell Kennedy, who left the game in the first half with an ankle injury, is back up and throwing on the Ottawa sideline. Coach Joe Paopao told our Michael Whalen at halftime that Kennedy could not go. However, you wonder if he's not going to give it another try. Well, there's Kerry Joseph right there. You know what? Darnell Kennedy had a good week last week against Toronto. One huge mistake. Michael Fletcher picked it off and returned it for a touchdown, and that was the ball game. Hebert kicks it off deep. And taken down there by Jason Armstead. Armstead across the 30-yard line. And he is wrapped up down there and thrown down by Mark Mitchell. And that's where the Ottawa Renegades will start.
And Kennedy's going to come back in. So, obviously his ankle is good enough to allow him to play here in the 3rd quarter. And really, I mean, of the 2 quarterbacks, he's the guy they want in there. If he can have the mobility, he's the guy they want.
The former Calgary Stampeder, who was traded here to Ottawa last July. Since then, the Stampeders have employed 6 different starting quarterbacks. From the 31, Kennedy in the shotgun, going up the seam. That pass is incomplete. And a good thing, because Pat Woodcock would have had his head taken off, and there's a flag on the play anyway.
You know what? Terrence Moore came over the top, and you know what? I do like this call, because the ball could not be caught. The play was over, and he gave a shot to Pat Woodcock's head. You're going to see it here at the top of your screen. Now look, ball's gone. Boom, right in the jaw.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 3.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Silly penalty. Should never be done, but Terrence Moore is playing his first game. Just makes a bonehead play.
And it gives Ottawa a first down at its own 46-yard line. 8.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And the give is to Josh Ronick, who gets up close to the 50-yard line for a pickup of 4. Josh Ronick had only 2 carries in the first quarter for negative yards. He's now 7 for 38.
And you know what? They've only tried that shovel play to him once tonight, and Antoine Young made a super play, if you recall, to break it up. But that really has been a bread and butter play in their offense, and they've just been reluctant to go back to it.
Leads the league in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and yards from scrimmage. Play fake. Kennedy swings it out and overthrows Dimitris Bendros by a lot.
You know, that's probably one of the toughest passes to complete, that swing pass out of the backfield. I mean, it's not like you're really leading a guy. There's really no angle to go at him. And I know it looks silly, and you're giving me the wild eye here, but it truly is a tough pass to complete.
An uncovered guy equal with it. No, the hardest pass in football to complete is 20 yards down the field between 2 defenders. That's the hardest pass.
You have to trust me on this one, Gordon.
You're covering for the quarterback, okay?
Not really.
Nick Lewis back to receive this punt. He won't get a chance as it once again goes off the side of the foot of Pat Fleming, and Calgary should enjoy good field position. A drive start at its own 36-yard line. You can vote for today's Rogers Player of the Game during the 4th quarter. Rogers, your world right now. CFL.ca or text messaging, go CFL. Who are you picking? Well, I think Charlie Hebert with the 5 field goals.
Probably. It's going to be a tough one. Hopefully somebody will emerge that you could say, yeah, definitely he's player of this game. Right now, I'm not so sure.
Tommy Jones had a good drive last time. It stalled inside the Ottawa 10-yard line. Goes back to work here from his own 36. And the give on first down is Scott Regimbald, who gets out across the 40-yard line, still fighting for yards, picks up about 5. Regimbald had only 5 carries on the season coming into tonight. He's surpassed that total with 6 tonight.
He's overworked.
Calgary home to Winnipeg next week. Ottawa will make the long trip to BC for the first half of home and home against the Lions. And don't forget BC and Montreal coming up later tonight in the second half of our doubleheader as the Alouettes try to remain undefeated. On second down, Jones has lots of time. Throws a dart down there. It's caught by McGarity, but he is wrapped up immediately by John Turntine. And they'll spot the ball at the 44-yard line, 2 yards short of a Calgary first down.
Yeah, one of the neat things that Ottawa does, and sorry the goalpost's in the way, but that's John Turntine. He's the defensive tackle. Watch what he does. He fakes, he gets up, and he's actually gets out here, and he's in coverage. It's just one of those funny looks that Gary Echeverry's defenses will give you, but that's a very, very athletic play. He keeps the receiver short of the first down, and keep in mind that's a defensive tackle in pass coverage.
Jason Armstead back to receive the punt. Low snap, and Hebert has it partially blocked. And the ball bouncing down at the 50-yard line. The Stampeders hop on it. Jay Bozé gets on it. But that punt was partially blocked by Ottawa's Kyrus Hebert. .6:20 to go here in the third quarter. Ottawa gets a break. Did special teams turn in the play that'll turn the game around for Ottawa?
Well, Dave Easley, there you see it. And here he is right there. It's tough to see, but Kyrus Hebert comes up the middle, and he's going to stretch out and get just a piece of Charlie Hebert's kick right there. And, of course, Calgary thinks that they can still recover this, and it's a positive game, but it's not because this... We went over the line of scrimmage, and they have to give their yards, and they lose 15 yards on the no yards as well as the block, and they end up losing -8 on the play.
Calgary punted that ball from its 44-yard line, but Ottawa starts 1st and 10 from the Stampeder 36. And Darnell Kennedy remains in at quarterback. Flags all over the place as jumping in was Terrence Moore. Tried to get the tailgate down and couldn't. And that should be 1st and 5 for Ottawa.
Now all of a sudden Calgary's making the mistakes that Ottawa made in the first half.
Calgary number 3, still first down.
Kenny Crean, the Calgary defensive coordinator. First and 5 from the 32-yard line, we'll call it. And Darnell Kennedy hands it off to Josh Ronick, and Ronick breaks through, gets inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line for an Ottawa first down.
Well, he made a nifty move to get away from Brian Clark right at the point of attack, and Clark came in, a terrific inside linebacker. Watch the move right there. Clark can't make the play, and Ronick with a positive gain and a first down. And boy, I think you should just see more of Josh, like run Ronick, Ronick, Ronick.
One of 5 running backs to gain 1,000 yards in the Canadian Football League last season. And on pace for that and more this year. Now the play fake. Kennedy going deep to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Picked off down there by Milo Lewis, his 2nd interception of the year, and Ottawa commits a costly turnover.
And that is a very, very poor read by Darnell Kennedy. Milo Lewis was just hanging in the weeds back there, almost baiting the quarterback to throw it downfield, and he was reading the quarterback's eyes the whole way, really did not have a man in coverage, and he just dropped into the open area. Demetrius Bendros had no chance, but a huge error by Darnell Kennedy, and yet another turnover.
And the Stampeders will take over at their own 25-yard line. This Calgary defense has played very well the last couple of weeks. With the exception of the 47-yard run last week that they gave up, they did a pretty good job of containing Saskatchewan. And as we mentioned, Calgary ranks in the top half of most key defensive categories. Tommy Jones slings one out there, the ball bouncing up, and it's picked off. Intercepted down there by Dave Donaldson. A flag is down, and Ottawa takes it right back. Donaldson's first interception of the year. And we'll see what the flag is about. So one rookie quarterback gives one right back.
Well, to the left of your screen, and a ball that is up for grabs once again. Not a very pretty looking pass. George McCullough tips it. Dave Donaldson picks it off. But again, I mean, that was just an ugly, ugly throw.
Ottawa number 1 on the run back.
Ottawa was called for holding on the run back. They got Kelly Wiltshire for holding. That'll move the Renegades back to the Calgary 52-yard line, which is where they'll start this drive. Fourth turnover of the game by Calgary. 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Armstead swings out. Kennedy steps up. On the bad ankle, picks his way across the 45-yard line to be marked down at about the 44.
Well, and that's what I think he's got to do, and you know, hopefully his ankle will allow him to do that. But really, at this stage of his career, you know, I said it earlier, he wants to be known as a passer, but you know what? His greatest weapon may be his running ability, and if he can do it on the gimpy ankle, this is going to add a huge dimension to this offense that they desperately need.
Kennedy gives it off to Ronick. Ronick runs hard into Scott Coe, bounces off him, and picks up a first down to the 39-yard line.
Boy, Gord, you notice tonight when they've had, both teams have had reasonable first down yardage, like 7 yards or so, that they've been really successful. And again, it just points out the key that if you're not having good first down production with a young quarterback, you're really putting yourself in a bind.
And you'd think Ottawa would be better equipped to have first down success given the running game the Renegades have. From the shotgun, Kennedy screens it up. And this is Ronick again inside the 30. He's tripped up down there by Terrence Moore. But Ronick dives forward for 10 yards and should be close to a first down.
Second time they've really run the screen well. Watch Val St. Germain. He's going to block, and then he spins out, and he gets the key block for Josh Renick on the outside. Watch him peel right now. Watch 57. There it is right there on Scott Coe, the outside linebacker. Well executed. 2 screens tonight for excellent yardage. There he is, Val St. Germain, veteran of this offensive line. Great block.
Just shy of a first down. They give it back to Ronick. He's got it easily as he dives down to the 25-yard line. And the Renegades move the chains again. 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ronick up to 50 yards rushing now at -1 yards after the opening quarter.
You know, it's funny, Gord, he's leading the league in rushing, and yet he's only had 1 100-yard rushing game in the first 6 games of the season. He's had 3 in the 90s, but he's only been over 100 once.
Kennedy again from the shotgun. Up the middle he goes. Darnell Kennedy. Whoa, took a late shot there, and flags fly everywhere. Brian Clark got him. Kennedy appeared to have the first down anyway, but you can tack on a whole lot more to the end of this. Kennedy appeared to miscommunicate with his receiver, had to take off, and did a pretty nice job of it.
Well, I think you clearly see that he was down, and you know, you're always going to protect the quarterback. If that had been a running back, maybe.
48-7. First down.
But all of a sudden, Darnell Kennedy with some Josh Ronick running, a nice screen play, and Kennedy's own running, which I think has to be part of this offense. There are his numbers. He had 90 last week against Toronto. They've got a nice drive going and have a chance to get close. They trail by 8.
Came into the game averaging 8 yards a carry. First and goal. The penalty was half the distance to the goal line. They'll scrimmage from the 8. Kennedy wants the shovel pass. Here's Ronick inside the 5. Ronick still going. Dives down to the 1. Clark just got a piece of him to keep him out of the end zone. But Ronick takes him down to the 1.
Well, they play a game on the outside with Scott Coe, the outside linebacker, on this shovel, and I do love the play. Let it run if you can and freeze it. You're going to see to the left of your screen. Let it go, let it go. Right here, there's Coe. He comes out to Kennedy. You throw the pitch, and you have the natural seam right there. They can't fill from the inside, and with some good hard running, they're down to the 1.
2nd and goal from the 1. Straight ahead is Kennedy. Touchdown. Now will Pow go for 2 here? It doesn't appear so. The single point will make it a 15-14 game. A 2-point conversion could tie it, but you've got a rookie quarterback, so you likely take the safe one. And Darnell Kennedy scores his first touchdown in the Canadian Football League. Sandro Shortino on for the point after. It is good. And the Ottawa Renegades make Calgary pay for a turnover and now trail by 1. Good things happen when the Ottawa Renegades give the ball to number 30. He keys that drive for the Renegades, who trail by 1, and they can thank their defense, Ottawa can, for holding Calgary to 5 field goals. Calgary has threatened repeatedly, but the Renegades defense has turned them away. And now Ottawa will kick it off.
Well, it's no secret when Josh Ronick touches the football, normally good things happen for this team, and if you're Matt Dunnigan, you kind of have to worry, Gord. You hit the nail on the head. They've had a reasonable amount of offense and yet only have 5 field goals to show for it. And old momentum may have just made a little visit to this stadium.
Sanford takes the kickoff for Calgary. Sanford has a seam, crosses the 40-yard line, out across the 50 to the 52. Celicio Sanford with a return of 33 yards gives Calgary excellent field position once more. An 8-play, 52-yard drive off the interception thrown by Tommy Jones.
Well, key plays, Ronick's 24 yards, but I'll tell you, the 2 Darnell Kennedy runs before he scored his touchdown, to me, were huge.
And, of course, the late hit.
Yeah, it's the one dimension that defenses, I mean, it's just tough to cover. You know, the quarterback, you don't have a man assigned to him unless he's really a spectacular running quarterback and you spy him, but that's the intangible that can make Ottawa's offense work.
Jones swings that ball out quickly, scooped up by Mike Juhas, who makes the catch and gets up to midfield. When a quarterback is sacked this season, Purelator will donate his weight in food to a local food bank. Purelator, Canada's biggest courier company. Dunbrack's got 4. Calgary has 4 sacks tonight. Now, they can just get some more sacks from Jerome Haywood, who weighs 3 bills. On 2nd down, Jones dumps it off underneath, and the pass is dropped. Unable to squeeze it was Scott Regenbald, who had only 3 catches on the season coming into this game. And the 3rd quarter comes to an end with Ottawa trailing Calgary by 1.
At the quarter, brought to you by Reebok, the only brand that hangs in every CFL locker.
Ottawa has trailed the whole way through this game, but they are as close as they've been all night. Down by just 1 heading into the 4th quarter as they make Calgary pay for a costly turnover right after it looked like Calgary had made a great play.
Well, Dave, I thought Darnell Kennedy had his best personal drive just recently to go in for that touchdown, but he still can improve as a quarterback because watch his pass drop here. He is looking the same direction the whole time. What does that do? It attracts the defensive backs. 1, 2, 3. There's your interception because the ball hung, but it was first the visual that they all key read off of the quarterback. And now here, you have Jones. Look at the sidearm release. There's not going to be a velocity on this football. It's going to float. It's going to wobble. That gives the defensive back just enough time to tip it. That's why the interception. One was a mistake in terms of technique of what he's looking at downfield. The other was a throwing motion. Both these quarterbacks can get better, but I still think Darnell Kennedy can pull this one out, Jock.
Oh, Schultz, it's definitely hit in both quarterbacks' hands in terms of who wins this football game. And I know what both head coaches are trying to do at this stage. They're both trying to let these quarterbacks keep the ball within 5 or 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. And you're seeing a lot of screens, you're seeing a lot of hitches, and they're not letting them throw the ball down the field because they don't want them to make mistakes. But you know what? If you're going to win a football game, I believe you got to go out there and let the guys play and tell them, do not hurt your team by throwing interceptions, but at the same time, we're not going to baby you.
Well, Ottawa has lost 3 in a row. Calgary's lost 4. One of those streaks is coming to an end soon.
Turn off ice, who knows where it'll go? Well, Ottawa has better numbers now. Calgary's thrown for 223 yards. The difference in this game, 3 passes have been intercepted in the end zone between the two teams. And the fourth quarter begins with a punt by Charlie Hebert. Gathered up quickly by Jason Armstead, and Armstead gets just inside the 20 at about the 19-yard line. And that's where Darnell Kennedy will go to work. Kennedy, if you were not with us earlier, was injured in the first quarter. In fact, the first series. Came off hobbling on his left ankle, but remains in the game after Joe Paopao said he would not be back tonight. Kerry Joseph, by the way, could be back next week.
Yeah, that's good news. I mean, they go to BC, and you certainly need all your weapons when you go out there. Interesting game right after ours tonight with BC and Montreal. My, oh my, I am going directly to my hotel room and turn that game on.
Play fake. Kennedy has time. Slings one out there, almost intercepted again. Terrence Moore almost got to that one.
Well, they wanted to go to the screen again to Josh Ronick, but Scott Coe, number 56, absolutely read it perfectly, and there was no way they were going to keep it to the left of your screen. There's no way Ronick. Here's Ronick in the middle, and you see how many people are around him. They've seen it twice. They said, hey, you're not going to fool us again. There's Coe right on him. And Darnell Kennedy, I hope, threw that one away.
Brings up second down for Ottawa. Look out. Down he goes. Brian Clark, untouched, hammers down Darnell Kennedy. He had a free pass to the quarterback.
Well, watch what happens. Here's Brian Clark on the outside. They get the pass rush up here, and he just comes sliding through there once again. They've had just enormous difficulty handling any kind of stunts. That's not even a tough stunt. You get 2 linemen going to the outside. They let Kennedy totally go free, or Clark rather, and Kennedy picks him up. Boy, oh boy, Ottawa on the right side with Abi Khan and Chris Burns have had some difficulty against the stunts.
Fleming just gets it away. This is Wayne McGarity. From the Calgary 50, gets down to the 40. And the Stampeders will have great field position when we come back. Ford Miller, Leaf Pedersen, Michael Whalen here at Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. Calgary Stampeders with a 1-point lead on the Renegades. 13:40 to go in the fourth quarter. And Tommy Jones making his first CFL start at the controls for Calgary. Jones, lots of time throwing up the field, and the pass is caught. Albert Connell makes the grab down at the 15-yard line.
Well, one of the things Tommy Jones said about Albert Connell, he said, this guy can get open on every play. And I kind of thought, well, if that's the case, maybe you ought to go to him on every play. And here he splits the zone, and although the ball was underthrown, Connell comes up with a great catch.
A gain of 26 yards. First down Calgary at the Ottawa 15. And Jones, who has worked in the shotgun most of the night, goes back to it. Here comes the rush from the backside. That's picked up. Jones drops it off underneath. The catch is made, and getting down to the 5-yard line is Celicio Sanford, and he'll be close to another Calgary first down.
Well, Celicio Sanford came a long way to make that catch. He was the short side slot back, and he came all the way across the field on the crossing route.
Scott Reginbald peeled back and picked up Keaton Cromartie, who was bearing down on Tommy Jones on the backside, allowing the quarterback to get it off.
And again, Jones gets to the outside where it's easy vision for him downfield to find a receiver, and I think that's where, again, he's been his best.
2nd and inches. And Jones is in the shotgun. Jones under pressure, throws to the end zone and just throws that away. Jones under all kinds of pressure there. It'll bring up 3rd and inches, and Calgary will obviously gamble.
Well, that's the nature of that offense that I guess I just have some challenges with, Gord. You know, it's the offense they're committed to, but 2nd and short down there, and every first down in this game, 15-14 is so precious that just the fact that you have to rely on a 3rd down gamble now when you probably didn't have to, I find just a little upsetting on your strategy.
The veteran center, Jamie Crysdale, in his 12th year. Jones follows him and has the first down. Diving ahead to the 3-yard line.
And to just kind of go over that point again, not that they can't pick it up on 3rd down. I just think with a young team and you're trying to build momentum, it's just a little riskier than if you just take the crumbs on 2nd down, take your first down, and keep going. However, that's the offense they want to run, and that's the way they want to do it.
Matt Dunigan knows the Jenkins offense well. Jenkins was the offensive coordinator in 95 and 96 with a quarterback named Matt Dunigan. 1st and goal.
In Hamilton.
And Birmingham.
He also had Anthony Cavillo, too.
Reginbald gets maybe a yard. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, Calgary's inability to run the football is going to be interesting, Leaf, and you always talk about it in the Canadian Football League. The run and shoot is fine in July and August. Come October and November, it becomes a different matter.
Maybe they've had long-range weather that there's going to be a lot of Chinooks.
They better hope.
In Calgary.
Calgary last in the league in carries per game, rushing yards per game, and average game per rush.
I mean, 25 a game rushing. I mean, that is low.
2nd and goal. Jones from the shotgun looks to the end zone, has a man, touchdown. Nicholas Lewis has the grab for Calgary, and the Stampeders extend their lead.
That was a good throw. Give Tommy Jones credit. He's been asked to put the ball up at least 45 times in this game already, and that time he read it quickly. He had his receiver in behind George McCullough, and Nick Lewis with the good catch. Nick Lewis has been a good target for Tommy Jones tonight.
To which Dunigan says, thanks. I needed that. Nicholas Lewis with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year, and Tommy Jones with his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. But really, Leaf, to be honest, the first time Jones has faced really stiff defense, because the last 2 times he played, the games were pretty much out of reach, and he was playing mop-up duty. Not so much tonight. A huge drive for Calgary and an 8-point lead for the Stampeders.
Welcome back to the CFL Live studios. We apologize for a brief moment here. We have lost touch, technically, with Ottawa. It's 22-14 as Tommy Jones gets one into the end zone. Calgary scores their first touchdown of the night after Charlie Hebert had done all the scoring so far. And it's a nice way for Calgary to bounce back after he threw that interception in the end zone.
Well, I think that's the key with these 2 young quarterbacks, that if they continue to develop, you're going to see something later on in the future. I mean, Calgary has to find themselves somebody who can run this offense with an efficiency level that's going to keep John Jenkins as the offensive coordinator. Is it going to be Tommy Jones? Well, slowly but surely, he's getting more and more comfortable. He's done some nice things in terms of being able to put a drive together, Jock.
Well, Chelsea, this game is so huge for both of these teams. And when you're on a losing streak, I mean, you know, it is just the desperation in this locker room is horrendous when you are on a losing streak, because you know there's coaches who are on the line. Players' jobs are literally on the line when you lose 3 and 4 games in a row. And both quarterbacks in these teams are getting a chance to audition to show that they can be starters. Quite frankly, I'm not seeing either of these guys as starters, but both of these guys now are in a position to try to give their team some points and, you know, hopefully pull them out of a tailspin.
Although you say that he's not necessarily a starter, Matt Dunnigan has said that it is going to be Tommy Jones starting next week. There's the pictures from Ottawa. We got everything plugged in right in the the good spot again. So let's take you back to Frank Clair Stadium. Here's Gordon Leaf, guys.
Darnell Kennedy picks himself up off the turf after being dropped unceremoniously by George White. That'll bring up a third down for the Renegades, who will be forced to punt.
Yeah, and you couldn't see it. We apologize. We lost satellite feed there, but George White, Calgary's done a great job with the 3-4 at bringing linebackers from all different places. On the right side of your screen, look at Joe Fleming. He's back in coverage. White comes from the outside. And
oh, look out. The punt is blocked. The Stampeders get a hand on that. Flags are down. The ball is still loose. It finally goes out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Milo Evans appeared to get a piece of that, jumping in on the punter, Pat Fleming. And that'll be Calgary football in great field position. As hustling down there was Scott Diebert.
Wow, from the outside. Great block. Tough to see who it was from that angle. I apologize for that, but the Calgary Stampeders yet with another turnover. Milo Lewis from the outside.
And now Andre Pruill will sort it out.
Illegal interference. Ottawa number 6. First down.
Of course, Jason Krall trying to tackle somebody, wanting to keep them from recovering the football, gets called for illegal interference. But the Stampeders have created a lot of mistakes within the Ottawa Renegades tonight.
And this will be a long week for Ottawa. And a long flight to the West Coast next week. And the Stampeders will start first down at the Ottawa 14-yard line. And there's now an issue they're talking over with Captain Jamie Crysdale. I thought that ball should have been closer to the Ottawa end zone. Perhaps had they declined the penalty, they'd be down at the 5.
Well, one more look. 25, Milo Lewis from the outside. He's the one that lays out. Nobody gets a glove on him.
Yeah. See, by declining the penalty, Leaf, see, if you take the penalty, it's from the spot of the foul. By declining it, it's first and goal from the 4.
And that's what they did, and you correctly called it.
Actually make it the 3. They just got another yard. First and goal, Calgary from the 3 on a huge punt block by Milo Lewis.
Well, this is interesting with the run and shoot offense. First and goal at the 3. What do you do?
Reginbald is the lone running back. Stepping up is Jones. Reginbald dives in. Touchdown. Scott Reginbald scores his first touchdown of the year. And Calgary blows it open with 8.5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
Well, Reginbald absolutely runs over 22 Sean Gallant right there. I mean, he tried hard, or Kelly Wiltshire rather, on the goal line. And well, you see Wiltshire right here. He's going to come up in the hole, and you can't block everybody. So when Scott Reginbald takes the handoff, he knows he may have to run over one person. And it was Kelly Wiltshire right down there. Wiltshire was in the hole, but Reginbald just drilled him.
Calgary with a pair of touchdowns here in the 4th quarter. Blows the game open and has a 15-point lead with 8:21 to go.
Big block by Milo Lewis, and the Calgary Stampeders take an enormous 15-point lead here in the 4th quarter. 13 points the Stampeders have scored off Ottawa miscues tonight.
Hey, Barrett kicks it deep. Taken by Jason Armstead. Armstead out across the 20. Gets wrapped up by a host of Calgary Stampeders. And that's where the Renegades will start. Joe Paopao calls all the plays for the Ottawa Renegades. Darnell Kennedy gets his instructions and goes to work.
Well, he needs to call some good ones here. They've got a long field to play on here. There's a little over 8 minutes remaining. Certainly not insurmountable. But Darnell Kennedy really has not shown much in the way of trying to get the ball downfield. 2 completions.
And now trailing by 15, their best weapon, the running game, is really out of the arsenal. So Kennedy fires that out to Curtis Jackson.
And you're right about that, though, Gord, with the running game. I mean, if this was a normal Ottawa drive from around their own 20 to 25, it would probably be at least a 6 to 7 minute kind of drive. There's only 7 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Curtis Jackson, number 81, makes the catch there, just into the lineup this week. A Super Bowl winner with New England 2001. His New England Patriots won, and Yo Murphy's St. Louis Rams lost. Flags are down. Kennedy swings that up there, and the catch is made by Pat Woodcock. Flags all over the place. Woodcock does have a first down up to the 36-yard line. Woodcock, the outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup 2 years ago, has been kind of a forgotten man in this offense so far this year.
Decline. First down.
Calgary's offside. The penalty declined.
Well, you know, he's had his share of catches. He just hasn't had the big play, and I think that's what he talked about and is missing. I mean, when you average 10.5 yards, that's not what he's normally used to doing, so he hasn't had the big play, and that, in fact, was his first catch tonight.
And it was a first down. Kennedy steps up, has all day to run, throws instead, and Woodcock makes the grab. Woodcock down to the 45-yard line. Terrence Moore stepped into him there.
Well, and this is what Kennedy's going to have to do. We talked about it. They can't run the football at this stage. They got to go downfield. But the nifty thing that I like there is Kennedy bought himself some time, and he stepped up in the pocket. That helps his linemen. That lets them keep their angle on the blocks, and it gives guys like Woodcock time to get open. That was a very mature kind of quarterback play for a guy who struggled tonight.
And procedure will be the call there as the left side of the offensive line moved. And that'll knock them back 5 yards. 6:31 to go in the fourth quarter.
Procedure. Ottawa 67. Still first down.
Ottawa has now been flagged 12 times for 89 yards in the game tonight.
Well, there it is on the right side, Mike Abu-Meshrik, and he just gets a little jumpy, leaves a little early, and it looked like the right guard, Abi Khan, did too. But those are tough penalties when you're desperately trying to get back in this game. Yeah, that's Chris Burns.
That's Chris Burns, the right guard, to jump that time.
Right tackle. Well, this is tough. I mean, if Joe Paopao, he's a patient coach, but this will test anybody's patience when you're desperately trying to get something going, get back in the game, and you have these crazy, silly mental mistakes.
Joe Paopao just yelled, if you read his lips, go red, go red. I think that means just go on sound. Just snap the ball. They seem unable to get a playoff with any kind of signal, so just snap the ball.
Well, we'll see if they do go first sound here. It's tough to tell from the shotgun.
Away they go from the shotgun. And Kennedy's under all kinds of pressure. Curtis Jackson makes the catch and gets down to the 43-yard line.
And they did the right thing. You know, you got 1st and 20, you try to get half back on one play and half on the next, and they got about 11 or 12 there. Excellent. There's Curtis Jackson. Newcomer on the outside. He just lets everybody clear out, kind of hangs around until Kennedy finds him.
Spent 4 years in the NFL. Actually has some experience in the Canadian Football League with Hamilton back in 1999. Kennedy. Someone got a hand on him. Kennedy gets away. Wide open over the middle is Woodcock. And a first down to the 23-yard line. Clock running under 6 minutes to go, but Ottawa's got something going here.
And Gord, again, it was the footwork of Darnell Kennedy to step up into the pocket. I mean, that's your safety area. Step up into it. Don't go to the outside. And he gets away from the rush and then creates some time for Woodcock once again to get open. See, this is it. Step up. Good job.
From the 23. Kennedy going to the end zone. Incomplete. Demetrius Bendros fell down and immediately looked back to the official.
Ball hung up just a touch. Bendros had a step, but Calgary was able to close quickly when it was in the air. Here's Bendros right there. Follow him downfield. It looks like he's open right there, but the corner, Nate Terry, drops off his man and zone covers. That's the way you play zone. It's the illusion of the zone defense. You look like you're open, but somebody's coming.
Bendros tried to sell it, but Terry played that perfectly.
Sure did.
Second down. Kennedy again over the middle, and the pass is caught. Joel Murphy makes the grab. Kennedy got hammered as he threw it. And Murphy should have a first down as he got down to about the 13-yard line.
I don't know if you noticed the official saying, "Are you all right? You want to stay down?" He said, no, I'm okay. But terrific job once again to buy some time, and a great catch by Joel Murphy.
That's that right ankle.
I think Brian Clark stepped on it.
Now, did Murphy get the necessary yards? Kennedy hobbles over to talk to his coach. And he's got it. It'll be first down at about the 12. Where's this been all night? A 10-play drive that began at the Ottawa 22-yard line. The trouble is, Leaf, you referred to it earlier, it might be a 6-minute drive.
Well, there's still plenty of time. 4:39 to go.
Oh, bad snap. And Kennedy will simply fall on the ball all the way back at the 30. Joe Paopao is a patient man, but you got to think even his is wearing down now.
Well, let's see the snap from center, and that was low. You wonder if Kennedy's mobility is affected with the ankle there, but he did all he could do just to recover it.
Brings up the rarely seen 2nd and 26. And Kennedy goes down to the corner, incomplete, looking down there for Demetrius Bendros. And that will bring up third down with 3:54 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, I don't think there's any choice what you do here. I mean, you got to go for it. That's why when it's 2nd and 26, you know, really rather than going deep, I think you had to try to go for half of it. But Darnell Kennedy thought he had someone open.
There's an injured Calgary Stampeder down to the 20-yard line. George White is the injured player. White, one of many Calgary Stampeders who's had a free shot at the quarterback tonight.
And you know, one of the calls that may not be a bad call in this situation, they've got 26 yards to go. They can't pick up a first down to the 2-yard line, but in this kind of a situation where you know Calgary's going to be dropping at least 8, maybe 9, screen to Ronick might not be a bad play. Get him the football with some guys out in front and try to make something happen.
White being checked, 3:54 to go here in the fourth quarter. George White gets to his feet for the Calgary Stampeders. They've got a 29-14 lead with under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. John Jenkins, the offensive coordinator, Matt Dunnigan, the head coach. They were desperate to end this 4-game losing streak. A lot of misfortune for Calgary along the way.
You know, they always talk about Calgary with a young team, and it is. And, you know, you say, well, you're building for the future. But, you know, you always want to win for today.
Yeah. Third down, Ottawa at the 29-yard line. They need to get down close to the 2 for a first down. And Josh Ronick goes in motion. Here's Kennedy. Rushes on, goes to the end zone, has a man. Touchdown!
I can't believe it.
Demetrius Bendros, his second of the night.
Very unusual. Denny Crehan, the defensive coordinator, came with the blitz on 2nd and 27. Backside, Demetrius Bendros had one-on-one. He ran the same post pattern and got open for the touchdown. What a throw by Kennedy. My, oh my. What a great look. Bendrus froze Terrence Moore, the newcomer playing his first game. A little move to the outside, and he got wide open.
And now with 3:33 to go, the Renegades have crept back within 8. A terrific finish coming up in Ottawa. Demetrius Brendan-Ross had 2 touchdown catches coming into this game. He's got 2 tonight, and the latest has brought Ottawa within 8.
Well, here he is. Let it run, and then we're going to freeze it. We're going to watch what happens. Terrence Moore takes the bite on the little out move right there. His feet have stopped. He's dead in the water. Let it go. My goodness. Plays situational defense. It's 2nd and 27. Or 3rd and 27, rather. Excuse me. And you're biting on an out?
And you're blitzing.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
The game has changed somewhat.
So 3:33 to go. Ottawa will kick it off, and no need to go short here. Just get a stop from your defense, and away you go.
Goodness gracious, plenty of time here. You kick it deep. I mean, Calgary's doing the right thing. They've got, if you widen out the lens and the front people there, they've got 11 people up front. There they are, 11 people right up in here expecting a short kick. There's no way there'll be a short kick.
Ball is driven deep. Scooped up by Calgary's Andre Arland. Takes it up to the 32-yard line. So Ottawa needs a stop here and some field position. But Darnell Kennedy showed in that last drive he can move the ball quickly. 12 plays, 88 yards, but the 29-yard touchdown catch was on 3rd and 27.
And look at that. Kennedy did it with his arm, and he knew he had to. 7 and 9 on the drive. Good credit to him. Well, here's where the run and shoot really gets a test. There, Darnell, that was a great drive. But here's where the run and shoot gets its real test for it. Because, I mean, when you're throwing the football, obviously, if you're not completing balls in this situation, you're not taking any time off the clock because it's going to stop. So this is a lot of pressure on Tommy Jones, the rookie quarterback.
Jones quickly out to the sideline, and the pass is dropped. Albert Connell can't hang on. And that'll stop the clock as well at 3:09. And Connell says, my bad.
Well, interesting to see what Ottawa, Gary Echeverry, all night he's been bringing more than 4 people consistently, 5, 6 people sometimes. Let's see what he does. Probably one of the biggest game plays of this game. He's got Kelly Wiltshire right up on the line of scrimmage.
He drops off. 4-man rush. Jones under pressure. Over the top. Intercepted. He couldn't hang on, though. Byron Capers lost the ball out of bounds. And Calgary will be forced to kick. We reached the 3-minute warning. 2:49 to go, and Ottawa's getting the ball back. Tonight's game story is brought to you by Sport Check, proud supporter of the CFL. Charlie Hebert, 5 field goals for Calgary. How about Demetrius Bendrus? 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Jason Armstead back to receive this punt. Low snap. And a low kick, and a flag comes down. Hebert went down, and a flag is down on the play. Armstead has it at the 35. And forced out of bounds at the 42. But contacting the kicker is going to be the call against the Ottawa Rough Riders. And Hebert is shaken up.
George McCullough was coming from the extreme outside, and Hebert fumbled the snap. Now, he never got out of his lane, though. That's usually the rule of thumb when you go after the kicker.
Roughing the kicker. Ottawa 29. First down.
It's an automatic first down for Calgary with 2:35 to go. And penalties, which have plagued Joe Paopau's team during this 3-game losing streak, haunt them again.
Well, there's not a lot you can say. I mean, McCullough went for the block. He didn't get it, and he clearly ran into the kicker. I mean, there's no way that you cannot call that kind of a play.
That's 14 penalties for 109 yards. Ottawa again in double digits in flags. Now, Albert Connell was shaken up on the last offensive series for Calgary. And now I think we have a time count violation against Calgary.
Well, the clock still shows 11.
Illegal substitution. Calgary, 13 men in huddle. Still first down.
That's because Andre Arland came on for Albert Connell. Didn't realize he'd already been replaced. 2:34 to go in the fourth quarter. 24 penalties in the game tonight. Tommy Jones, lots of time. Throws back against the grain, incomplete. Looking for Mike Juhas. Brings up second down. And again, the clock stops.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with this offense. And, I mean, you want to throw the ball at this stage of the game, you have no running game to go to. They've got like 30 yards tops in the game on the ground. So, you know, you live and die with this. So far, they're ahead. They got 8-point lead.
Second down.
Last time Gary Echeverry's defense only rushed 4 in second and long.
4 again. Jones steps up. Swings it out, and the pass is caught. And Juhas dives up across the 50 to the 51. He won't get the first down, but he does gain some field position. And Calgary will once again have to punt. 2:17 to go. And Armstead comes out again.
Well, Calgary did a good job picking up 15 yards on that last play, and at least Charlie Hebert now's got some better field position to let this punt go.
Armstead goes back to his 20. Then a low snap. Hebert gets a good kick away. And Armstead sees it go over his head. This would be disaster for Ottawa. They're down by 8. Armstead's got to bring it out. No yards is going to be the call against Calgary.
You know, that no yards, if they don't do that, that pretty much seals the game.
Exactly. Ottawa cannot give up the single point there.
This has been a comedy of errors. It really has.
And Dunnigan is
undisciplined
just
play.
Seething down there.
Oh, my.
Not only that, but now the field position is so much better for Ottawa. You don't give up the point.
It should come out to the 25-yard line, no point. And my goodness gracious, a perfect effort by Charlie Hebert, who probably has been the player of the game. 5 for 5 in field goals. He had a tremendous punt there that would have sealed the deal.
It's a 70-yard punt.
And if you're upset, Matt Dunnigan, you should be.
And the call from referee Andre Proulx.
No yards. Ottawa, number 27. Penalties.
He means Calgary.
Calgary 27. Penalties decline. Single point on the play.
Wait a sec. No.
Why would you do that?
No, they haven't done it. They've got it messed up. They're going to have to. Well, now wait a second. They are. It comes out to the 35 on a single.
Why would you do that?
Well, you can't be serious.
No, Palpau's yelling from the Ottawa sideline, decline the penalty.
No, you
don't want to make it a 2-possession game.
Well, I wonder if somebody said, yeah, you know, we want to give a single. We want the. Can renege on this one? Like,
once you've said it, you're saying once you've said it, it's over?
I mean, unless we're down there, we don't know what was said, but. I mean, this is just unbelievable if, in fact, they did choose to take field position and give up the single.
So Proulx's talking, with
he's
Burns.
saying to Chris Burns, and Burns is saying, well, you know what, we did not want to give up the single, and he's shaking his head saying, look, guys, you said.
But we saw an example earlier in the fourth quarter when Calgary declined a penalty after initially accepting it to get better field position.
That's right.
So they've done it once. There should be.
Well, he's not changing. That's, I mean, unbelievable.
Wow, this is. Val St. Germain.
I can tell you normally, Gord, what you do is the on-field captain, you have a captain for special teams, offense and defense, and when the signal is made and the referee asks you, what is your decision, Mr. Captain? You look to the sidelines normally to get a signal from your coach to say accept or decline.
Well, it's first down to 35, but Ottawa now trails by 9. Kennedy throws it downfield. There's a flag on the play. Let's go down to Michael Whalen.
Well, Joe Paopao was really incensed and came over to the umpires and was complaining about the call on the field, but I'm not exactly sure what happened, why it is that they ended up getting a point.
Interference is called by Ottawa downfield, or called against Calgary, rather, moving Ottawa downfield to the 45-yard line. A 30-yard gain on the penalty. Kennedy out for Curtis Jackson. Down to the 40-yard line. All of this would be well and good had Ottawa not given up that single point.
Well, again, to repeat the process, whatever captain's on the field, you're asked for your decision. You usually look to the sideline to whichever coach is going to help you make that decision, and you get some sort of signal from them, and that's a tough thing to mess up. But obviously they did.
Darnell Kennedy sends it out for Armstead inside the 30. Perhaps Paopao, I mean, it seems so obvious you accept the penalty. Joe Paopao looked like the most surprised man in the stadium when they announced the single point.
Well, and of course, when the flag went down, you know, everybody's saying, oh, we got a reprieve. We got a reprieve here. Anyway, it's over. It's all moot now.
I don't think it'll be moot after the game.
Well, they're going to have to do it the hard way if they want to get back in.
Kennedy steps up and gets thrown down hard. Darnell Kennedy never had a chance as he was dropped by Antoine Young. 1:26 to go.
I'll give this front three of Calgary a lot of credit. Antoine Young and Sheldon Napastuk and Joe Fleming, the veteran, really have come hard all game, and they've done their best. They've forced the quarterback to move up into the pocket to get away from the rush, but this group has really, really played hard.
From the shotgun, Kennedy sets up the screen pass. Josh Ronick still going inside the 20. Fights his way down to the 16, 1:10 to go.
Well, I mean, they do have time here. 1:10. They're going to take a timeout, which is a good move right there after a screen play. Everybody's all over the field. Get them together. Take your timeout.
I don't think they are.
Well, he was signaling timeout. You better hope the referee didn't see him.
He did not. Clock running at 1 minute. Kennedy throwing up to the end zone. Flags are down. The pass is caught. Touchdown. The hat trick for Dimitris Bendros. 59 seconds to go. Three catches, 3 touchdowns for Dimitris Bendros.
Well, and this was a good throw. He had the defensive back with his back to the play, could not locate the football at all. Terrence Moore once again on Bendros, and Bendros with a pretty unbelievable average tonight. As you said, 3 catches, 3 TDs, not much better than that. Now they just take the single extra point, and they trail by a couple. 59 seconds to go. Onside kick. Who knows?
I'll tell you what.
Not a well-played game, but it's getting pretty exciting.
Whoever loses tonight is going to be really upset.
Oh,
I mean, more than usual. Dunnigan's team had a 15-point lead with 8.5 to go. Paopao's team had a chance, but then gave up that wacky single point. The point after is good. Ottawa trails by 2 with 59 seconds to go.
Well, here's where the fun will start. Sandro Shortino will be asked to execute the onside kick, which I think is one of the most exciting plays in football.
Next up for Ottawa at home, August 19th against the Hamilton Ticats. For tickets, call the number on your screen, 613-755-1166.
Well, Calgary will put in their hands team, 11 people up, only one receiver back, and when they get all set up, we'll show you exactly what Sandro Shortino and his team. Dave Easley, the special teams coordinator for the Renegades, is, this is something they work on every day in practice, or at least every other day. They have a few different variations. Trey Junket is the special teams coach on the other side, and he's got his hands team in there, and a rather intense individual. Make sure his people know what's expected of them. All right, here's your group here. You got 11 guys right up there.
See, this is where I go to the backside. You got Woodcock one-on-one on the short side of the field.
Well, and they may.
Take your 50-50 shot.
They may. Woodcock is right down over in here. He's the only guy over here.
Now remember, it's got to travel 10 yards. Up it goes.
Oh, that's a good kick.
And it's caught by Calgary. Brought down by Lewis. And that should do it with 57 seconds to go.
Well, while we wait to see what happens in Ottawa, they're just about to kick off in Vancouver. The 6-0 Alouettes taking on the BC Lions. We'll get you there as soon as the game's over in Ottawa.
Tommy Jones under pressure. The ball is stripped, and Ottawa has it. Tim Fleiser has it. 49 seconds to go.
Side of your screen, let it go, and Tommy Jones just does not feel him coming, and that's what Wiltshire's intent all the way was. Knock that ball loose. Fleiser with the recovery. Hang on to your hat.
Ottawa with the ball at its own 41-yard line. 49 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Boy, what a play by Wiltshire. What a play by Tommy Jones. I can't believe he was carrying the football out like that.
Kennedy from the shotgun. Streaking down the field is Bendroth. They dump it underneath. And the catch is made down there by Yo Murphy. Murphy was not able to get out of bounds. And it's up to the 46.
Well, to set this.
Now there's flags down, as there was an altercation between Murphy and a couple of Stampeders.
Well, this will be really interesting. Penalties, again, such a huge factor in this game.
If nothing else, that'll stop the clock for a moment and allow Ottawa to regroup. Oh, and it's against Ottawa.
Oh, my.
Objectionable conduct, taunting, Ottawa number 80. Second down.
Murphy for taunting. Second down now at the 36.
Oh, my.
That's 14 for 124. 42 seconds remaining. Kennedy has time. Drops it off. This is Ronick. Ronick across the 50. Has a couple of blocks across midfield. Ronick, the 40. Inside the 35-yard line to the 33 for a first down.
Josh Ronick, who's been one of the best receivers this season for the Renegades, has not been used a heck of a lot other than a couple of screens tonight, but there he is in the middle of your screen saying, give me the football. And he makes things happen right there. He makes one miss. He gets a block downfield by one of his receivers. And all of a sudden, one play, the Renegades are 29 seconds away from a Shortino field goal, or better, they could win this game. That's amazing.
A 41-yard gain. This is Ronick again. Down to the 27. Shortino's longest of the year, 37 yards. Last week against Toronto, he was 1 for 3, though, in that game. And someone on the sidelines, very exuberant.
That looked like a ball boy or something.
Stay away from
jumping on him already. Leave him alone. Let him concentrate.
Ronick again. Fights his way down to the 25. 17 seconds to go.
That'll be a 32-yarder. And here he comes. And I suspect, like most teams will do, if it's the case, Calgary with a timeout, I still believe they have their timeout left. They'll probably ice the shooter.
The snapper is Steve Glenn.
Why not on a night like this?
The holder is Pat Fleming. Shortino will call it 31. And the clock is running. This for the win. Shortino. Good! And there's a flag down at the end of the play.
Well, I have no idea what this flag is, unless it was some sort of celebration type thing.
If it is, remember, Calgary can take the ball to 35 plus the penalty.
Let's wait and see.
Objectionable conduct, it may be against Calgary.
Well, I think he pointed towards the Ottawa side.
After the play, objectionable conduct, Ottawa number 30. Field goal is good.
So objectionable conduct is called against Josh Ronick. There are 2.6 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, as soon as this game is over, we'll take you to the stadium at BC Place for the second half of our doubleheader. The Lions and the Alouettes.
Has this not been unbelievable, though?
First down Calgary at its own 45. Time for one play.
So many mistakes, and Ottawa has a chance to win.
Ottawa calls timeout.
Oh, boy.